Hey, welcome back to the Garage Space. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's March 8th, 2026. It's technically 10:30 in the morning, but we had daylight savings time last night, so it's technically 9:30 if you ask me, but that doesn't seem to matter. Uh, how's everyone doing? I love daylight savings time. It should be obvious. Uh, how's everyone doing? It's been a busy week. We're back to microphone mode, which I listened to the stream last week. Thank you for your feedback. I didn't think I sounded very good, as much as it was nice not to have a thing in the way. That's okay. We'll do this for now. Oops, excuse me. And then probably try and figure out how to do it better in the future. There, that's kind of better. Last week's been very busy. It was a very busy time for myself. You probably know I've been talking about it a fair bit. There was a new Netrunner set just last week. And so last week we took some time off of work and I streamed for about 30 hours during the whole week. So not exactly a full-time job, but 30 hours of Netrunner streaming comes at a cost. And that is, I've played very little Marvel Champions between the time that you last seen me and now. I have gotten time for 3 games. One of them lasted 4 minutes. I've played Wonder Man, trying to finish off my Age of Apocalypse run, and against En Sabanur, my first labor was unfortunately had to go get the Hydra, and I lost on turn 2. The Hydra was really hard to kill. Hydra is so hard to kill. If you get it on turn 1 and you're not prepared and you don't have physical icons and you're attacking for 1 damage, it was terrible. So I wiped really quickly. Then I ran it back and didn't get the Hydra on turn 1. We went for a side scheme and it was easy enough. So we did wrap that up. Shout out to the Leadership version of Hercules we played on stream last week. You can find the link of the deck list in the description of that video. Now, the only other game I got in is a Wonder Man game, and I tried a game out with this sort of deck, and then it was okay. I played against Captain America. We did all right. And then I made some changes, which are untested. But just so we know, we're in uncharted territory today because we just haven't had the time to play some Marvel Champions this week. But boy, am I happy to do that. Shout out also to Slay the Spire 2, which did come out on Thursday as well to make things even more complicated that week. And I reckon if you like Marvel Champions, check out Slay the Spire if you don't know what it is. It's basically just like Marvel Champions, but a roguelike deck builder. It's really cool. It's the same idea. You draw a hand, you play your hand, you move on to the next hand. Well, then the villain does something to you. I can't recommend it enough. You probably heard about it. Hey, Timothy, using 2-gun kid with Wonder Man feels so cheap until you realize you can essentially hit 2 targets for 10 and move on. 110% worth it. That is what we're doing today. This is a Wonder Man deck with 2-gun kid. We're doing some trick shooting. This is an archetype I think you probably know of before. Obviously you did because you talked about it in chat. I think Web Warrior Fanatic posted a list that has that sort of pattern. I haven't played that list. This list is similar but slightly different. It has, I think, a couple different cards. I'm pretty sure the ally slots are going to be almost entirely the same, considering aggression allies, let alone in this deck, you're kind of locked in pretty hard. But it is a gameplay angle. It's something that Wonder Man can uniquely do, and I think there's only like maybe 2 other heroes can do the combination of cards that we want to do today, unless you, I guess, play multiplayer is maybe my read of it. So it seems fun, seems interesting. Just to recap the narrative to now, Wonder Man and Hercules have both come out at the same time, and we all thought that one of them would be easier than the other, and it turns out actually Wonder Man seems to be the harder thing to pilot. It's not as smooth as it seems. It's kind of really weird. So with that, we have to kind of build a Wonder Man deck and make it make sense. So what we're going to do today, hold on, I can move the table slightly. You can see just a gap. We are going to talk about this deck and we're going to play this deck. Again, I'm kind of out of breath, let alone out of practice with some Marvel Champions. So hopefully it's like riding a bicycle, right? How hard could it be? Let's talk about Wonder Man. Standard hero, 5 hand sizes, nice. We played a whole lot of Hercules. We have 12 hit points. Give me 1 second. I think I should just get rid of these while we can. Yeah, cool. We have 12 hit points here, 2/1/2 stat line. However, we'll get +1 attack for each card tucked underneath us with Ionic Physiology. And Ionic Physiology, we'll talk about it in a second, but it can tuck up to 3 cards, which means we will have 4 attack for some instances. And with this deck, we can get ourselves up to 5 attack. Now, we technically do have cards in our kit that scale with our base attack, but also very importantly, when we attack, we have to untuck all the cards underneath us. And that means that we oscillate between being high attack and very low attack. And turns out that's like, okay, it's actually a bit clumsier when you play solo. Because you run into issues where if you have to use your 2 thwart, which shout out to 2 thwart being very good in solo, then you're exhausted and you can't use your attack. And you also want to use your attack, your basic attack, because that's the only way functionally to get the cards out for underneath you, and you want to get the cards out from underneath you consistently. So it's like, it's a weird dance, and it sometimes can like get a bit gummed up. If we want to talk about Ionic Physiology, Hold on, there's a whole bunch of Ionic cards. This one's permanent, so it starts in play, it doesn't count towards our deck size. And it says, after you play an event with a printed energy resource icon, you can tuck that event underneath this to give yourself a 1 healing. Now, something that's unfortunately so important to know, and I don't think we knew this the first time we played this on stream, is that you cannot do this if you're at full health. It sucks. And that's just on the basis that this ability, if you can't change the game state, you can't pay the cost, right? If you're not healing yourself, the game doesn't allow you to take this action. This is the sort of like no change in game state rule that Fantasy Flight Games has in a lot of their card games. Shout out to Netrunner who culled that rule just about a year and a half ago. It took like many, many years of rules changes to make it make sense. But that means on turn 1, our ability to tuck cards is useless if you don't get the healing. So we have to kind of hope, and luckily we're playing against Captain America today, at least as our first villain, and Captain America has Retaliate, so you can just like attack him, and that's a start. But the fact that like you can't spin up in power until you get hurt is like kind of awkward. It also doesn't mean you're happy to be attacked. And so like don't stun the villain on turn 1, because if you stun the villain on turn 1, well, you're still not going to tuck your cards on turn 2 because you're probably not going to get hurt. So you have to watch out. Now, the big thing here is our alter ego just gives us some deck building. Firstly, we put Ionic Physiology into play, but of course you do. But it says you may include events with printed energy icons from any aspect in your deck. Now, I showed on stream last week a Wonderman deck that I was working on. And the fact is that Wonderman deck technically could have been any aspect, because at the end of the day, your events don't really define your aspect as long as they all have energy icons. I think that's the case, is all the events in this deck have energy icons, but we are going to make some strong decisions that we are going to be an aggression deck, not only because we need these allies, but there's a couple upgrades we need. But that's a really fun thing. And Wonderman's going to get interesting the more energy typed events come out, the energy resource events. It's something you're going to be watching out for going forward in the future, because it's really cool that you can build this like multicolored deck and maybe hit some synergy points that other like monocolor heroes cannot do. So let's see how it works. All right, so we're going to explain the cards really quickly because we've talked about these on stream before. The big thing here is we have a lot of cards that want you to overpay for things. So this is 0 for 1 threat, which is not the worst thing. But as soon as you start paying extra for this, this can be up to like 2 resources for 5 threat, which is not bad at all. The biggest thing about this deck is that we have a card, which I forget the name of because I haven't played that much Wonderman, that will show up, that just says that we can overpay for every card we play on any turn. It just generates 1 resource for every card that we play to overpay. As soon as that's on the table, this becomes a 1 for 3, which is really, really good. And I was actually really worried that we would need more thwart events. And there's actually some pretty good thwart events that have energy icons, but we're actually playing none of them on the basis that active altruism is just like that good. And we have 3 copies of it. And it's really, really flexible. It's also quite nice to dump on turn 1 just to get this on the table. But it's very important we find our research generators to make these things as good as possible. We have 3 copies of it. Ionic Blast is a nonsense amount of damage. This is truly a 4 for 9, which isn't amazing considering the world of 3 for 8s we live in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's a 4 for 9. However, this becomes a 3 for 9 functionally once we get that research generator we talked about that can overpay for a card, any card you play on a turn, 1 per card. So this becomes really good. I thought when we saw the previews it would be a bit easier to do, but you can get cards underneath you and then you can actually pull them cards out from underneath you and add them to your hand when you jump down to alter ego. And this is the one card that I feel like in my limited play that I'll actually will pursue to get underneath me and get back into my hand, because this thing ends games, particularly when you play solo, because doing 9 damage is a lot. A lot of the villains we're playing against today will have like 20 health, and this does half their health functionally. So this card is actually worth keeping track of and keep recurring. Hey, Lucy, trick shot that's banned. It's 100% the name is because we need to kind of get the Netrunner players in here with a cheeky name. Probably will be banned forever. This is Starstruck. We have 3 of these, and I was kind of surprised when I saw the list originally, and I guess we'd have more Ionic Blasts. I think actually this makes more sense to me because Ionic Blast kind of feels more like the web kick, and sometimes you don't get 3 web kicks in your kit. I think Spider-Man does have. Maybe Spider-Man does. I'm pretty sure Silk does. But Starstruck is like not a great play if you ask me on turn 1, because this does some amount of damage, usually 4 damage, sometimes 5 damage if we increase our attack stat. And it also stuns as long as you overpay for this. That means technically you're paying like 3 cards to do like 4 damage and a stun, which isn't brilliant. But again, the big thing about the deck, my favorite card in this deck is the one card that says overpay for every card, because if you overpay for this, you get the stun. Again, you do want to take damage in the early game so that your text actually matters, so make sure you're not stunning immediately. And speaking about early game, this is your best opening card, not only because this can generate 4 resources for a single card, which I would say we haven't seen before in this game, but this allows you to take up to 3 damage, which is exactly the amount of damage you want to take, because then you can start tucking cards underneath you. Energy Siphon is like easily one of the best cards in the deck, and it allows you to be pretty greedy. I'm not a big Avengers Mansion player, but you can get away with playing some pretty expensive stuff. Shout out if you want to play this in Leadership and play Beast to bring it back and functionally get a big free Beast. But Energy Siphon is just very, very quite good. Of course, it also has energy icons on it. And in theory, when I started building this deck or started playing Wonder Man, I thought you'd have to put like all the energy icons you could in the deck. I don't actually think that's a concern anymore. I think as long as you have enough energy events, that means you probably have enough ways to overpay for your energy cards, because all the cards have kickers when you overpay for energy. And so far, I haven't played Wonder Man that I thought has had too little energy, just because inherently you want to tuck cards so you'll have enough cards with energy. But the cards that are not events, I don't think they all have to be the sort of energy icons that you might think they have to be. Maybe we'll be wrong about that. Wonder fans, alter ego. I don't think I've often used the top text. Sometimes you do when you have an extra card in your hand and you don't need to draw a card, but generally you just do the bottom text when your alter ego draw a card. Wonder Man came in his kit with a non-energy. It was a physical icon card. Heroic something. What is the one where you like handshake? They heal 2 damage and they get healed. It's the confusing card. That was the only way that Wonder Man had in Wonder Man's kit to jump down to alter ego. And I think Wonder Man actually has some really cool cards that interact with jumping down to alter ego. This is okay, but can't jump down to alter ego because the kit only has stun. It has no confuse. So I do think if you're playing like maybe full justice, you could play this. There is an energy resource typed 0 cost guardian event that allows you to take 1 damage and confuse the villain. We can't play that. There's no way to give ourselves a guardian, at least when we're playing solo. But Wonder Fans is okay. Jet Belt, not bad. Generates a resource. It also can get a card underneath you away to generate a resource, which if you're full up, that gives you more healing. This card's just a 2-cost resource generator functionally, which is pretty good. But this is actually my favorite card in the whole deck. It's Mr. Hollywood, because this doesn't exhaust. It just says generate an energy resource to overpay for a card, limit once per card, not per phase, per round. And this is the one card that I think is the most important in the kit, because then all your cards that have overpay clauses, overpay them for free. And so they all just become strict better, and you don't have to make any decisions. I think with Aircheck having been printed, it's definitely on the shelf. Yeah. I haven't played Aircheck once. It seems okay. Signature Sunglasses. One of the cards that really tempts you to jump up and jump down from alter ego to hero. I haven't done it enough. We are playing one card in this deck that we probably shouldn't, just so we can do like a Signature Sunglasses thing. This one's probably not great. It's at least really cheap to get on the table, and it allows you to either tuck an event or grab a tucked event. The one thing that Signature Sunglasses usually does in the mid to late game, if we can figure out how to jump down to alter ego, generally when I jump up, after I tuck it, we will go ahead and force the grab the Ionic Blast, which usually ends the game because it does do 9 damage on maybe the final turn. And that's usually like a pretty good reach. This actually gives you like really good reasons to jump down. I've just found it to be kind of difficult to jump down. But the idea that every time you can jump down, as long as you have the cards and access, you can like get the 9 damage card, jump up, do the 9 damage card. It would be really nice to be able to jump down to alter ego as much as you can in Wonder Man, but I haven't played like a full confuse list just yet. What are you? This is your don't die button. I haven't played it. I haven't fired it. I don't love don't die buttons, but that's the Wonder Man kit. And it's relatively straightforward. But again, I think this card is just the most important card because it makes all your other cards for the rest of the game so much better. Now let's talk about the decisions we made in the deck. And the first one we're going to look at is Unified Strike. And this is one of those cards that basically attaches your activation to your allies' activations. Things like Teamwork, I've been playing a fair bit more on the channel. And I don't often love those cards because they're actually kind of expensive. Because what they do is, well, it's pricey. It's actually costly. The fact that you both have to be ready and your ally has to be ready, that's a cost on its own. There's some board states where that you can't line that up. And then generally you're just adding your stats from one to the other, which doesn't actually gain you anything. But Unified Strike at least says you don't take consequential damage. So that actually is a gain. But cards like Teamwork don't actually gain you anything besides in other certain contexts. Like when we play Hercules, we have to do everything, all our labors. And this allows you to cheat an ally into helping your labors. That's really cool. And it's kind of similar with Unified Strike, is that as long as your ally has really good text and adding your stats to your ally stats can like multiply their value, then there's a reason of shifting those stats around. But functionally playing a card just to shift stats around is usually not my favorite thing to do, but Unified Strike is actually kind of cool. Now, we also have this like base floor thing that we can do, which because this is a zero cost event that generates an energy resource, this also does what it does, plus heals 1, plus heals 1 or 2 from the ally. So it is like a pretty soft healing card that's really easy to play. But the deck is functionally built around Unified Strike. I just want to say these sort of card ideas I've always found very, very expensive. Anything that says like exhaust this while you do this, it's like, well, you're paying a very, very expensive cost and can be fiddly. Now, the reason why we're doing this, there's 2 cards here. I think a lot of people have seen this combo before, but Two Gun Kid was an aggression ally that came out somewhat recently, and the aggression allies recently have been really, really quite good. Two Gun Kid says, when Two Gun Kid makes a basic attack, choose 2 enemies instead and resolve the attack against each of them. Two Gun Kid is a multiply payoff. The idea is that if we can Unified Strike and add our 4 attack to Two Gun Kid doesn't attack for 4, but Two Gun Kid attacks for 12. Because it becomes 6 into 6 as long as you have 2 targets. And that's another big thing. We're not playing like minion getting strategies because that just feels like another extra layer that adds a bit too much. This seems like a strategy where there probably would be more consistent in multiplayer when there's more likely to be multiple allies, or sorry, multiple minions or minions at all, let alone maybe in heroic. Because I found that actually one of the problems you have playing solo aggression strats is that you don't always have minions engaged with you for the minion payoffs. But as soon as you play heroic and you draw 2 cards a turn, you almost always have minions engaged with you, for better or for worse. But this is a really good payoff for Unified Strike, right? Because we multiply our value. And so any stats we can add to Two Gun Kid, we're adding twice as many. So this doesn't become a just add 4, it becomes an add 8, which becomes a lot better, let alone Two Gun Kid doesn't take consequential, so we can continue that train rolling. The other one is Thor. I'll be honest, I don't remember Thor ever coming out. I don't think I've ever played Thor. Who did this come out with? 2 wings. I don't know who's that, Valkyrie, I guess? But Thor is toughness when it comes in, which is already not bad. Toughness means we can take an attack and then still attack twice. 2 consequential sucks, but Unified Strike beats this. And it says when a Thor attacks a minion engaged with any player, spend an energy resource. We're pretty good at that. Resolve that attack against each minion engaged with that player. Now, this card probably shouldn't be in the deck if we play solo, unless we're playing a scenario with a lot of minions. This will not attack the villain, but if you're playing multiplayer, the fact that this can target all the minions in front of someone is actually quite nice, because there's another good target for Unified Strike. We can make this attack 7 potentially into all minions plus. I think there's a chance that this shouldn't be in the solo deck, but it is one of the only 2 cards in aggression that directly work like this, so we'll figure it out. Hey, Tim, it's okay, but I think Dust is a better option. Yeah, I was looking at Dust. I thought Dust was only X-Men, like you can play it. When Dust attacks a minion, she attacks each minion in play. Dust takes consequential +1 for the attack. Oh, I think I'd rather play Thor than Dust. I thought Thor would also attack the villain. It doesn't. Dust also could attack the villain, but doesn't. But the fact that Thor is an Avenger is actually really important for this deck. And the fact that his toughness is really nice. And the 2 consequential versus the 2 consequential on Dust, I don't think we care about. Notably, the +1 consequential, I think it's still just attached to the consequential. I don't think it's a cost, so you can ignore it. But I honestly think I like Thor better. And it's actually mostly because of the Avenger tag, because we have ways to interact with that. Yeah, Dust can't do it either. Hey, morning, Aurora. How's it going? Happy lose an hour day. I'm not upset. Now, this sort of strategy does recommend that we boost our attack stat. And one of the things we want to do is we want to make sure we are boosting our attack stat. I don't love the idea of increasing our attack stat to 4 and just never attacking, because if we never attack, we're not healing and we're not doing our thing. So we're not going to be super precious that we're always at 4 attack, but it's something we're going to keep in mind. And usually now the sequencing of a turn is actually really important, because we have to like play a couple events, increase our attack stat, attack with our minion, and then maybe attack with ourselves to release the cards underneath us. We'll figure out how it works. But aggressive conditioning makes a lot of sense for a couple reasons. +1 attack is very good in general. +1 attack is really good for Unified Strike, but also +3 health is really important, because we're not a defense deck. We actually want to take a bunch of hits. And if you're going to be this sort of like healing brawler archetype, one of the best things you can do is give yourself more health, because the more health you have, the more chance that you can safely take an attack. Because if you're at 3 health or 4 health, you can't safely take an attack from the villain thinking I'm going to heal it tomorrow, because there might not be a tomorrow. So this card is actually relatively expensive, but we're okay at playing 3 or 4 cost cards because of our energy siphon. Now, this is the card I really wanted to play because I've never played this card before, and it's Enraged. Maybe we should be playing more than one copy of this. So you attach to an ally, and the attached ally gets +2 attack, but takes +1 consequential damage. I think this is actually a pretty good trade. If we attach this to Two Gun Kid now attacks for 4 twice and takes 2 consequential. That means that we'll have 1 fewer activation with Two Gun Kid, but of course, Unified Strike doesn't take consequential damage. So if we enrage a Two Gun Kid and then we do a Unified Strike, Two Gun Kid could have up to, say we're 5, say this is 4, that could be 18 damage with a single attack where you don't take consequential. Now, it's important we have this in hand, and it's important we're not exhausted. But this, I think, is actually much worth trying out. Even on Thor, it might be something, because Thor can maybe blow through the toughness. But the problem is if you put this on Thor and Thor does one basic attack with no toughness, Thor defeats himself with consequential. But this is a nice way to make two-gun kits stronger. And if we don't take consequential, that's like pretty good, because we can keep it along. Another reason, and this is one of the cards that I think came in the kit as well, is Stronger Together. And maybe we should be playing 3 copies, but this says when a character other than your hero would take any amount of damage, and this includes consequential damage, reduce that damage if your hero shares a trait by your defense. And this is perfect, because if Two-Gun Kid is taking 2 consequential, we can now play Stronger Together, heal 1 ourselves, and prevent that consequential damage, which means Two-Gun Kid can continue activating Enraged style. So that's what we're trying to do here, is basically make a two-gun kid and pop off and do like big bursts of 8 or 10 damage. This is going to feel bad if there's not enough minions, because two-gun kid's text is only really cool if there are a lot of minions. So we could go ahead and hunt down a scenario that has more minions than others. Looking at things like Unis is actually not perfect, because guard beats two-gun kid in an unfortunate way. But like you could play against Green Goblin or maybe Zola. I don't 100% know. We are currently playing against Captain America, and we're choosing, I think, 3. Maybe we'll do 4. I forget how many things we're meant to shuffle into the deck, but we're choosing all the ones that have like 2 or 3 minions in them just to make sure it lines up. But this is the basic idea behind the combo, and then everything else is just like a reasonable aggression deck and a reasonable Wonderman deck. But this actually seems kind of fun, and I haven't lined up to do that 18 damage attack or whatever we think the math can be, but it seems within the realm of possibility, and it also seems like a fun thing to kind of tackle. His guns shoot harder when he's angry. Oh my god, you don't want to make him angry because his guns are so good. It's going to feel like spring today. It did get bright early, which is quite nice. But yeah, mixed bag, huh? Flip, how's it going? Wasp. We're playing Wasp. I don't actually really love the +3 attack, but it's nice to have other cards in your deck that can work with like Unified Strike if you want to. But the big thing about Wasp is she's the only aggression card that references being overpaid for, which means we can use Mr. Hollywood to make her last longer, because we did overpay for her, if I'm not mistaken. Sunfire is good. When we played the Precon, we got so frustrated because we played against an attachment that requires 2 mental resources, and the Precon had 1 mental resource, 1 wild in the whole damn deck. Now that's going to be less of a problem because we actually have wild resource generators that we're playing in the deck, but this allows you to spend your extra energy resources to detach attachments, which is something you want to do, let alone Sunfire is just a really good card. Now, I love the idea of jumping up and down, and that's why we're playing Psylocke. She's just a very good aggression ally, and she's the only ally, or she's one of the only, I think, 2 cards in aggression, if not the only card in aggression that can consistently give Confuse, if you don't count Psionic payoff card. And we want to jump down in theory, because jumping down allows us to do our sunglasses and our other thing, which is like fine. We have Nick and Professor X, which of course we do. Prof X is a cheap jump down, which you love it. Nick Fury draws cards. Both of these cards can be played with a single resource for free with our photonic energy thing. I forget the name of it at this point. We'll figure it out. But the one that can generate a lot of resources, and they're just good cards. Now, this is the card that's probably too cute for the deck, but I want this to be good. This is foiled. And I honestly am a believer in foiled. I think I like foiled way more than the average person. There's some issues with foiled though, because it seems like it'll work, but the realistic thing is this probably doesn't actually work. This is Interrupt. When a boost card is turned face up during a scheme activation, cancel its boost icons. That is mediocre text, because you're spending a card to sometimes, under a strict set of conditions, remove 2 or 3 threat. Now, this is where things fall apart, because when you realize how this actually works, it doesn't. But the idea remains something like this. If we can get this underneath us, which is actually kind of tricky, because the only way to get it underneath you is by doing Wonder Fans and Alter Ego or Sunglasses on a flip up or flip down previously. But if this card is underneath you, and then we jump down to Alter Ego, we can use Signature Sunglasses to add this to our hand. And if we add this to our hand, it is like the near guaranteed pseudo confuse, because now the only thwarting the villain can do is the thwart stat and not the boost card. And a lot of times you lose in solo because you can't jump down because the villain thwarts for 2 and you get a boost card of 3, and that is like game losing. So this is technically like a card you can recur, and we only have to play 1. As long as you get it underneath you, you can then add it to your hand. The problem is it's very hard to get this underneath you in hero mode. So you have to like set up 2 cycles to get this underneath you. It just doesn't work out well, because when you flip down, you can put it underneath you with Signature Sunglasses, but then when you flip up, you can add it to your hand, and that's exactly when you don't need it. So this card is probably worth cutting. It just doesn't work well. If there's a way we could get it underneath us in hero mode, and I think the only way that we can do that is like the one where we don't die. The don't die button can maybe set it up. I just want this work to work so bad because foiled is just such a fun card to add this like pseudo confuse and give you the agency to jump down in alter ego mode in solo, which is sometimes a difficult thing without spamming confuse. This card also beats Stalwart, which is kind of cool, as much as it won't matter in this matchup. I think Steady might. Defiance, love this card. It's one of my favorite cards in the game regardless, especially for the Arkham Horror shout out. But this card is just very good because we want to take damage, but we don't want to take a lot of damage. So Defiance means Captain America will hit us for 2 and we don't have to worry about the boost. There are not that many bad boost icons in the set. You could play with worst boost icons, but this just means we take a bit of damage and we always heal 1. So this means Captain America will only functionally attack us for 1 if we're attacking this. I'm playing War Room. War Room is definitely too cute. Probably shouldn't be in this deck, but our allies should be defeating a lot of stuff. And I'm worried our deck doesn't have a lot of threat. So I'm putting this in the deck. It just says, after an ally attacks and defeats a minion, remove a threat from his scheme. This is probably in some ways more consistent in multiplayer, but also less consequential in multiplayer. It's a fun card, and our allies are going to be knocking stuff out, so we'll try it. Evaluate threat. This is the reason why I like Thor a bit better. And this card I haven't played enough with, and it sounds good. It's 2 cost, or 2 threat when it comes in 1 cost, and 2 threat's amazing because we can clear it on the turn. And when defeated, each player can search their deck and discard pile for an Avenger or Shield card added to their hand, and the card's cost is reduced by 2. Deck and discard pile. This is actually really important because our combo entirely revolves around an Avenger ally. So we can get 2-Gun Kid on the table for 1 resource on a later turn when we crack this. And having consistency also to grab Thor if we want to on the matchup, that seems really nice. In terms of shield stuff, we can always grab Nick Fury if we wanted to grab a cheap Nick Fury, but this just is a really nice card. We cannot play the one that grabs grabs allies because that's a leadership card. We also technically can grab, this is such a flexible card, especially for 2 threats, so nice. You can also grab your resource generators because our resource generators are Avenger traded or Shield traded. I think they're both maybe. One is probably one of each. But this card is just really nice, really smooth. Haven't played enough of it, but I think this is a relatively easy staple. And 2 threat means the thing that comes in isn't free, but it's still quite good. And sometimes you just need +1 hand card. We're playing 3 strength, energy, genius, and then of course we have 1 shield, 1 Avenger. This is Quinn Carrier, which we are, of course, an Avenger. This generates a wild, which can be an energy, but it means we can interact with things or acquire bespoke resources, which our deck is not that good at providing. And then Helicarrier is the shield version, which just reduces the cost of cards. That's the idea of the list. I do not know if we have enough thwarting in the deck. You do have a 2 thwart, which goes pretty hard, and we have 3 copies of active altruism and a bit of recursion. But so far in my 1 test game, it's been fine. Just to show you the cards that were in this deck that got cut, and I think there's some things that I tried out in my first game that kind of make sense, but also kind of don't make sense. And the first thing is to play Air Cover. And I just like Air Cover. I think Air Cover is a really fun card because it allows you to toolbox your deck with some tactics. And I was playing Air Cover to get either Suppressing Fire or Marked. Firstly, I was playing Suppressing Fire on the basis that I just wanted to play tank. Is it suppressing? No, it's suppressing. I love the idea of playing a brawler that can just take hits and then just heal. So we played Suppressing Fire. The issue with Suppressing Fire is that you have to defeat the minion, which is just a non-bow when it comes to doing a 2-Gun Kid, because 2-Gun Kid is doing the defeating. On the other side, Marked, though, actually seemed quite good, because if you attach Mark to a minion, that minion gets overkill. And so now you can triple down in some ways on 2-Gun Kid's attack, right? So if you put Marked on a minion, 2-Gun Kid attacks the minion and the minion dies, the overkill damage goes to the villain, and then the villain gets the full attack again. Like, this combo actually seemed kind of sick. I don't know if it's worth the slots. You probably only have to play 1 Air Cover and 1 Marked just to be able to get it consistently. But I do think if there's enough, and like maybe enough is the big word here, but adding overkill to 2-Gun Kid is just so funny because it's not your attack, it's just attacks in general. So you can triple down on 2-Gun Kid. I think that is worth trying. The other thing that I had in the deck, and I cut it out because I don't think I ever played it in my testing game, is You'll Pay for This, which is a relatively cheap energy resource, which is nice. And it says, after the villain attacks, you remove threat from any scheme, not just the main scheme, which is pretty interesting, equal to the amount of damage you took. And obviously after that, we'll heal 1 after we tuck this underneath us. I don't love playing cards during the villain phase before you see the encounter card, unless you're like a defense deck and you're drawing more cards and stuff like that. It just feels very expensive because you don't know whether you need to spend resources to deal with a minion or whatever shows up. But it's an interesting idea. I just don't think it's necessary. Or at least in this scenario, there's not that much threat to deal with compared to some other scenarios. So it is what it is. But there's some really interesting things you can do here. And we're going to give it a shot and try doing some trick shooting. Let me catch my breath. How's everyone doing today? Good early morning. If you are watching from Europe, and I believe my stats are actually incredibly skewed to North America on this channel more than any other. Hopefully you're well. I do not think I'm going to have the discipline to increase the attack die by 1 for every card underneath me, because that just feels like a pain. So if anything, I'm going to put my attack die here and we'll change that. And this will be our thwart and our defense. Does that make sense? Any questions? Let's have some coffee. Ooh. At some point too, because my cat doesn't understand daylight savings and I'm the only one at home right now because my partner's out for brunch, I'm gonna have to take a 2-minute break to feed the cat. She'll probably be showing up on table. That's usually how she asks. She did show up in the last video, which is great. I'm excited to attend a casual for Neverwinter today, playing with upcoming standard. Hell yeah! I guess technically upcoming standard is correct. Flip, what did you build? Hey Robert, nice to see you. How's it going? Maybe good morning. How you doing? Again, I just haven't had time. We streamed 30 hours of Neverwinter last week. It was really, really fun. The new set seems very exciting, but I've had very, very little time on average to play Marvel Champions these last 2 weeks. I think I still got in like maybe, actually no, over the last 2 weeks, I did get in about a dozen games because we had like render time and downtime. And my desk is right there, so it's easy to swing around and play a game. But I haven't had the time to spend like, you know, cracking Wonder Man. I think there's some interesting Wonder Man builds. I know people have published online like Flight Squadron. You can do some pretty messed up stuff when it comes to just aerial decks. And the fact that you have built-in aerial opens that whole lineup. I think some of the aerial events have energy icons on it, so it gets a lot better. Playing a Maggie, beta build knickknack thing, and a PD Cyclotron deck. I think those are going to be really fun decks. There was the show match of EA Sports versus Tiebreakers yesterday, if you want to watch it on Axu's channel. And there was the unironic like beta build into knickknack, but not like a Spark of Inspiration deck. Just like, here's a 7-credit play that draws a card. And I think that's probably okay. It's maybe a bit cheesy. It feels a bit cheesy, but like it's not bad. And I think you don't have to play that in Spark. And I don't think you have to play Spark in it, which is quite fun. Hopefully that's good. And like Cyclotron PD might not need the Cyclotron, but that whole play pattern is like really, really fun. It's 5 p.m. here in Latvia. Robert, to this morning, we lost an hour. So it's technically 11 a.m. here. It used to be 10 a.m. And so we're slightly closer together. Yeah, you're not doing any Spark. Okay, cool. I think you're doing the version of the deck that's probably more consistent. So have fun with that. Beta build is like, I guess, a bit of a Neverwinter talk. One of the most fun cards. It says search your whole deck for a card functionally. This is how it would work in Marvel Champions. It says search your deck for a card. I can't believe we don't have a card like this. Search your deck for a certain type of card, whatever, like an ally, put it into play. And then at the end of the run, let's just say the end of the turn, the ally has to be discarded. Or no, sorry, the ally goes to the top of your deck if it isn't discarded. So you basically can cheat in the most expensive thing for one turn. And then we have cards that say like, when a run starts, discard a card and get its cost in credits, which is the resource you use to pay cards. So you can just cheat out the most expensive thing. And then right when the run starts, just sell it to the soup shop and get like $10, which is an absurd amount of money. Yeah, rewrite share has been so good. Yeah, rewrite share seems like a nice way to make sure that your deck doesn't break, which unfortunately Spark can't do that consistently. But our rewrite share is just a really fun card. All right, we're playing against Captain America. Why? I honestly don't know. I don't know if this deck is amazing. Shout out to like beating Ronan on Expert or whatever. But yeah, Captain America is like, I think the one of the 4 leaders that I've had the hardest time with. We're putting allies into the deck, which is nice. We definitely want, minions in the deck. We definitely want enough minions. Captain America's toughness and retaliate are both a boon and obviously not great for us. We don't want to be blocking with our allies. So like keeping the shield for a longer period of time is going to be a bit difficult. But yeah, Captain America's fine. I'm not the biggest fan of any of the leaders. I haven't played She-Hulk, mind you, or who's the other one? Vision yet, because we don't have the scans. If we don't have the scans in the near future, I'll probably just take photos myself and we'll do good enough photos. Shout out to whoever makes the photos and the scans for Hall of Heroes, because they're kind of a hero for me. But yeah, we'll give it a shot. People in Europe are watching you. I'm introducing more of my friends to your content. Oh, thank you. That's very kind. I'm assuming like Marvel Champions just in general is like way more popular in North America. It seems like a very American thing, but I know there's European players and I know like this stuff gets translated. In Latvia, are you playing in English or are you playing, do they localize cards? I'm assuming it's English, right? Sometimes I heard the translation work is not the best that you'd want in FFG. So a lot of people who can speak multi-language or bilingual or trilingual or multilingual just play the English versions because they're sometimes even cheaper. Here in Quebec, they have French cards, but they're so much more expensive because they're not printed here. They're printed in France and then shipped in. And it's like, it takes longer too. We also have rules here where the game in English has to be a considerable or has to be a comparable price to the French version. And that means that our English products are way more expensive. Okay. Let's talk about Captain America, I guess. So this is Superhero Resistance. The back of these are all the same. We're going to have to do some randomization here. So there's 4 of them. There's technically 5 if you play with the new content, which I haven't yet. New content in quotes. So we're just going to roll a die here to choose. If we ever get a situation where the cards that we draw don't make sense, because in theory, the back of the box say you can full randomize these, but technically you can't because some of these actually refer to what's in the deck. And if that lines up and it doesn't make sense, we'll just mulligan it away. So we'll do 1 to 4. 5. 5 again. 3. Okay, we'll take this one. There is a 2A. There's 4 of them too. We'll randomize that if and when it shows up. And if 1A clears, we don't lose the game. 2A is usually just a bit worse, but not much worse. So it says 3 or 4 modular sets. I did 3 modular sets. You know what? I'm going to leave it at that. 4 modular sets means there'll be more. No, let's do more minions. I think we want more minions. Let me get a 4th modular set. I forget what we put in this deck so far. I think we did all the Hell's Kitchen stuff. So we have Hell's Kitchen, we have Cloak and Dagger, we have the Defenders. I think that's it. This is not the easiest one to show the deck sets that we normally do because of the way it works. So let me get a 4th one in here. I generally am a proponent of only putting 3 in the deck, just so you see the Captain America cards, because there's only like 8 Captain America's cards in the whole deck. So you don't generally get a lot of theme. It's a bit better when you play multiplayer, because when you play PvP, you add 5 more cards that very much interact with Captain America. But when you're playing solo, it's a bit too little theme for me. It's English. I don't think it's worth translating games for less than 2 million potential players. I'd be so excited one day for my Slovenian copy of Marvel Champions. My vocabulary in Slovenian does not well encompass a lot of champions-based terminology, so it'd be good fun to learn. When it says modular sets, does it only mean the PvP modular sets? Yes and no. Yes as in yes. No as in there's no rules, who cares? But yeah, technically it wants you to play the PvP sets. There's nothing against you putting in your favorite modular sets here and just play this as solo. The PvP sets have more text that interacts with PvP. We'll just add Secret Avengers. But there's no reason to make this the way that you want it to. And I don't mean it as in like, I don't care, but like, no, legit. Like that's the part of this game. It's modular. Giving Captain America telekinesis would be fun. I mean, the shield has to come back somehow. But yeah, you are allowed to do stuff like that. And I think that's a nice way to add more life to these sets. I'm not going to keep harping on about how this box wasn't for me, but I think the sets all being 5 cards, there's not usually a lot of synergy between them and the whole encounter. So having something that adds a bit more like, you know, overarching theme and interaction points is probably worth pursuing. All right, in competitive mode, we find the choosing side scheme. We're not doing that. In cooperative mode, we have to reveal their player side scheme. This does take a card out of the deck, so there's fewer Captain America cards, technically. Fearless Determination, the side scheme, it comes in with an Amplify and 3 threat. It says, when defeated, attach Captain Shield to Captain America, which if it's there, that doesn't do anything. But however, Captain America then activates against you. I have played entire scenarios where I haven't cleared this once. The extra activation is like sometimes worse than the Amplify icon, but we are going to be taking a lot of attacks to the face, so Amplify icon is worth something, let alone it makes it harder to jump down to Alter Ego, because that imbues like obviously all boost icons. Otherwise, we'll flip this over. It's Rallying Call. It says each minion gains guard. I mean, great. That actually sucks. Wait, that sucks ass. I was going to say that doesn't matter. And there's a lot of ones like that just say like the villain gains steady. It's like, it's great, I guess. But the guard actually is really bad for us because the cool thing we want to do is 2-gun kid the minion into Captain America. And we can't do that anymore. Like, I think we just mulligan that because it's not going to be interesting. We can let this fizzle. Chat, what do you think? Do we mulligan Rallying Call? Because it means 2-gun kid doesn't work. Because you have to target both characters at the same time. And if there's guard, you can no longer target Captain America. It's wild to imagine the Captain America villain before hero reprints, considering it's even the same art on cards. So sorry if the people can't get them. Yeah, maybe that, like, I think a lot of the problems that Marvel Champions can produce have something to do with licensing. So the fact that the licensing still seems to be attainable, like, probably is a good sign for folks waiting on reprint content. Yeah, I'm going to change this. Okay, Robert, we're allowed to change this because it means we just can't do our thing. So One of these can get a minion. That would be fun. So we'll do 1, 2, 5, 6, 4. So instead, let's get Gathering Support. This is the one that I think will get us a minion. The enemy team searches the counter deck for a minion and deals it out to a player as a face down counter card. So we're guaranteed to get a minion. Otherwise, this has no text, but it'll be nice to get a minion on turn 1. I don't know if we can always get our 2-gun kid set up on turn 1. I would say pretty unlikely. And anytime that the game says enemy team and there is no enemy team, you have to technically search the deck and come up with the worst answer for you. Some people don't like that rule. I think it's okay. Daredevil's actually kind of bad. This set doesn't have any big minions. Like usually there's a lot of sets that have like one anchoring minion. So Spider-Man is one of the options we could have played based off of the side that we're playing on. But there's not a lot of big minions. Like there's a 4 health Black Panther that says when defeated, give a boost card. Iron Fist activates against you. This one's not good because we get it attacked for 3. Let's actually try Iron Fist. That's probably one of the worst ones. Iron Fist just says, when revealed, Iron Fist attacks you. So that is guaranteed 3 damage coming in, which is a fair bit of damage. I think that's fine. I'm not going to spend too long figuring out what's truly the worst because I don't know. But yeah. Oh, this is not on us yet. This is waiting for us. All right, let's talk about the villain. Captain America, we're playing expert, so we're doing 3 into 4. The setup, we attach Captain America's shield, and force response after Captain America, the shield is attached to Captain America, give him a tough status card. So obviously you can't get 2 tough status cards, but that means taking off the shield and just immediately giving it back is bad. And speaking about taking off the shield, Cap's shield. Permanent attaches to Captain America, and whenever it's attached to anybody, that character gains Retaliate 1, and attacks against them lose Piercing, which is cute text. We have to remember, yeah, we have no piercing, I don't think. Force response. After a hero or the Captain America leader uses their attack to attack and damage attached character, attach Captain Shield to the attacker. So you play a little game of keep away from the shield. However, the worst thing to do is take the shield off, give it back, because then you're just giving it extra toughness. Now, the text on this is like pretty vague, and it's meant to be pretty vague. So the leader or hero uses their attack to damage Captain America, the shield is taken. Does this use our attack? This technically uses our attack because our attack is used to damage Captain America. Like there's some wording here that's like a bit vague. If you can use an event that references your attack, or for instance, we have that 1-cost attack that says do damage equal to your attack to Captain America. Does that count as using our attack to damage Captain America? Again, Cap Shield specifically says uses their attack. It doesn't say does a basic attack. And I think that's just to keep the wording open, but technically we have a couple cards that use our attack to do damage. Hey, SRN, hope you're well. I've got lots of streams to catch up on. 30 hours of streams this week. Hopefully it's good. It is a basic power. Yeah, this thing doesn't reference a basic power at all, though. It just says after you use. So like, I'm not 100% sure if that's open or not. It seems open. All right, again, remember Ionic Physiology, we cannot take damage on turn 1 if we don't have damage. So here, at a minimum, we can always attack to take Retaliate to attack our first card. Or the best thing was to get drawn to, I think it's called Energy Siphon, to be able to tuck some cards underneath us. But that's mostly it. Our alter ego text is not real text, and I think we're off. Let's go. 6 cards. Active Altruism. This one's almost always worth keeping in your opening hand because of the 0-cost threat removal. The issue is removing this means that we'll get attacked from Captain America 3 times or like twice into this, which is pretty bad. So I honestly think we don't clear this, which means we probably don't hold on to this one. If there was a side scheme in play or like basically any of the other leaders who have side schemes you want to clear on turn 1, we'd probably keep this. This we don't keep. I'll put this in the maybe camp, but what are you is like, I don't like the don't die buttons. They're a bit better than I think they are because you can actually just like die. Unified Strike is a maybe keep because it only works with allies. We have an Energy. We'll always keep a double because we have a lot of setup cards that are expensive. Don't keep that. It's a bummer to see both of these because they're really good when they matter. And we have a Signature Sunglasses, which might not be a keep actually. It says after you change form, we can tuck like an Active Altruism underneath us. That's not bad. It's a 1-cost card that gets out of the deck. It's not super important. We can always throw it out as a resource. So I think we'll keep it for now. And we could do worse. I wouldn't rule that Unified Strike isn't you attacking. It doesn't say that you have to be attacking though, right? After a hero or the Captain America uses their attack, to attack. Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was happening. Somebody's looking for breakfast soon. Oh, you took the shield off of him. That's very good. Yeah, you're probably right about that. But What about the one that says we use our attack stat to do damage? You need to have damage to tuck cards. Been playing that wrong? Yeah, I think, Robert, a lot of people are. Because it's a cost, you have to take damage to tuck the card. Quinn Carrier, okay, that's good. We can definitely play that on turn 1. Oh, excuse me, Wonder Fans. We'll might tuck a card underneath us. We might draw a card. We'll see how many extra cards we need. Evaluate Threat is really good. This means that we can get Two Gun Kid on turn 2. Hi, Nanako the cat. You want to take a little nap there? Oh, what a good cat. And hey, speak of Two Gun Kid, he is here. So we have everything and the cat bomb. All right, so I think we're going to try and do our first turn underneath the watch of Nanako the cat. And once that doesn't work, we'll go get a little food. Why don't you say hi to the camera? The camera's here. Hey. Oh, yeah. Hey, Nana, you're very, very, very cute. Very soft. Who do you want to play? Are these good cards? You think they're good? Oh, she's looking at me like, why are you not feeding me? Okay, hold on. We will just feed her. I'll be back in about, it's going to take like less than a minute. So I'm going to give her some food. Otherwise she's going to sit here the whole time, which like, honestly, that's good. Okay, let's go. Come on, hungry? Hungry. All right, meal looked good. Seemed like a good meal. If you aren't attacking a wood rule, it doesn't trigger, but I'm no champion knowledges, the greatest hero of all content cat. I've only ever caught glimpses of Nanako. This feels like a face reveal episode. She's been in a couple stuff. There's mostly Marvel Champion stuff. Sometimes she's like climbed on, she will sit on this and just watch, which is like good fun. But the issue now is in my new studio space here, we can close the door. In the other studio space, sometimes we close the door, but she would be in like the bedroom on the bed. But now it's like, I can't lock her in here while I'm making streaming or anything. It's just not a good thing to do. Okay, so catch my breath. We're off. So what we're gonna do here, we definitely want to play the Quinn Carrier. The question is, play Quinn Carrier with what? Evaluate Threat we can put on the table, and we can even clear it this turn. The thing with Evaluate Threat though, it says, huh? So apologies for the weird scan. Each player may search their deck and discard power for an Avenger or Shield card and reduce the cost to play each of those cards. So the cards found, not every Avenger or Shield card until the end of the phase. So we could clear it now. I don't think that's the most important thing. It means that we could play Two Gun Kid. Like we could pitch Two Gun Kid for this and then go grab Two Gun Kid. We could play Two Gun Kid for 1. That's a possibility. We definitely want to set up Two Gun Kid because of this, but we also want to imbue our attack stat because of this. So both of those things will happen next turn. We have 2 Unified Strikes left in the deck, and we have 2 of the protection cards in our deck that will do less damage because Two Gun Kid will not defeat the thing. That's one of the options. So if we wanted to do something first, like pitch Two Gun Kid for Wonder Fans could then draw a card. That card could play this. No, that's hard because I want to get a card tucked underneath us. Because we're not playing an attack event or any event this turn. Let alone we are at full health. So the only way to get cards tucked underneath us are Wonder Fans or the Signature Sunglasses, which we'd have to play first. I think we always do 1-2. Like, okay, so this is the problem is if we pay for evaluate threat, and then we immediately crack evaluate threat, we technically paid 2 resources to get a card back. And then we save 2 resources on this. So it doesn't feel amazing. If that's the case, maybe we keep evaluate threat and pop it next turn. There's not much we have to do with our basic activation. We could always attack into the toughness and just take 1 retaliate. But yeah, it feels kind of strange to play the evaluate threat and pop the evaluate threat because you're just paying again. Paying 1 for this, playing the card, getting the card back you played for it. You're technically up a resource, but it's not like massive. We could also use evaluate threat to maybe go get the helicarrier, which is another like setup option. We have all our resource generators or our basic ones on turn 1. Hey Art, how's it going? I mean, that's okay. We might need to be ready next turn to attack into what we know to be Iron Fist, because 4 health is not within the range of 2 gun kid. Yeah. And we could tuck a card underneath us. The thing is Unified Strike is a hero interrupt, so if we grab it in Alter Ego, we can't do the combo. We could also let Captain America just scheme out and not jump up, no joke. Because this will go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this will go to 7 probably. So actually we'll probably lose the main scheme on 1, which we probably shouldn't do. But actually kind of pretty hard. Just don't drop Master Plan. Yeah, Master Plan for this would be bad. Master Plan for that is whatever. But Master Plan for this is really quite bad. You just ignore it at that point. And then you just kind of beat a treachery. Okay, one more time. So we do 1, 2. Say we do 3. And then we play Quinn Carrier. We can only use this an Avenger side. So playing the Sunglasses, the Wonder Fans isn't great. So say that we start with doing 2 Gun Kid for Wonder Fans. Wonder Fans taps to draw a card. We use the card plus Quinn Carrier. Sorry, we use that card to play. Yeah, I guess in this to play Quinn Carrier. Quinn Carrier plays this, and then we float a card, which means then we probably don't use Wonder Fans to draw a card. We use Wonder Fans to tuck a card underneath us. That's probably it. This plays 1. Yeah, I think that's probably it. This could be an event, though. If this is the playable event, we could go up and play it. I think there's not a lot of events we'd play on this board state, though. But yeah, this could play Wonder Fans. Wonder Fans could instead tuck a card. We could do 3 to Quinn Carrier. Quinn Carrier could play Evaluate Threat, and then we could just like attack for 1. This allows us to tuck a card underneath us. But in theory, we want to tuck a card underneath us after we attack. Wait a second. This is where like Wonder Man gets really hard, because then if we jump up and attack, that's bad because we only tuck a card with Wonder Fans, and tucking a card underneath us with Wonder Fans is not super useful here because we're going to immediately lose the card and the card doesn't do anything. Crap. What is this? Do we do a Evaluate Threat angle? Do we actually do it? So the other options we do Energy and 2 Gun Kid for Quinn Carrier. Great. We can do Signature for Wonder Fans. This is the same plan. We can use that Wonder Fans card to play Evaluate Threat. Evaluate Threat we can clear to get Wonder Kid. Quinn Carrier and Kid plays a... Yeah, I think that's probably better. I think this is super convoluted, but this is the best thing we can do. So we'll start by playing 1 for Wonder Fans. Oof, we got there. We'll tap Wonder Fan in Alter Ego to draw a card. So let's see if this changes everything. It changes nothing. This is the one that can use our attack stat to damage the villain. And I don't know if it counts at taking the shield off or not. It's kind of an interesting interaction point. Now you could play this on turn 1 to stun the villain, but we want to take damage. It's not the most important thing to do. We could, but it actually costs a lot of resources to stun the villain. Okay, then we'll do 1, 2, throw a 2 Gun Kid for the Quinn Carrier. With this generates a resource now in Alter Ego. Sorry, in hero mode. Sorry, we have to flip up to play it. We can generate a resource on either side. But now we have a resource generator. We'll generate this resource to play Evaluate Threat. And then we'll immediately thwart 2 on Evaluate Threat, clearing this. So we can search our deck and discard pile for an Avenger or Shield. We are going to search for an Avenger. We're going to take 2 Gun Kid, and we're going to pitch this to play 2 Gun Kid, and that's our setup on turn 1. Super convoluted, but hey, technically use a lot of our hand, and we have 1 good card here. It honestly might have been better to go grab the Quinn Carrier, or sorry, the Helicarrier, and just say like we're super set up for resource generators. But we know 2 Gun Kid might be active as of next turn, and it is kind of the crux of this deck, so we're going to give it a shot. We'll pass. We're not going to use 2 Gun Kid. Draw 5. 1. Okay, that's good. Stronger Together means we can use 2 Gun Kid very easily. 2, Genius. 3, Starstruck. Might be able to play that. 4, Prof X. We can jump down, which is good with Wonder Fans. And 5, the Foiled, which if we jump down and hold it, we can do the thing we want to do. This goes to 1. The villain with the Amplify is now attacking us for 2 and a card. We want to take some amount of damage here. We know we're going to take 3 more damage, so we'll just take it 1, 2, 3, 4. It's our thing, our obligation. So that's a lot of damage. We're taking a lot of damage. So jumping down is going to be important. We don't have, mind you, the scan. So pacifism is just a 2 boost here. So we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. Take 5. Ow. Down to 7. Encounter cards. Played a really cool Hawkeye deck in Leadership Shield recently with the new Avenge Me cards. Was going really well. Oh man, I should play that. Avenge Me is such a good card. Iron Fist. I need more excuses to play Leadership Avenge Me because I'm not a huge Leadership fan and Avenge Me is so good. When revealed, Iron Fist attacks your leader. Otherwise, Iron Fist attacks you. So we're going to take 3 damage off of this. Great. And then we draw Light Force. When revealed, heal 3 damage from the enemy leader. Take 3 indirect damage. So we're just going to take 3 damage, I guess. We need to do damage to 2-Gun Kid, but we need to keep the 2-Gun Kid around for sure. So this is our board state. On turn 1, we took 11 damage. We took 5 into 3 into 3, which is absurd. So jumping down and healing seems kind of nice. We can let Iron Fist scheme for 1. It doesn't really matter. So that's okay. And we have a bit of healing in our hand. Okay, we can't attack Captain America because we will die. So 2-Gun Kid's text is actually not relevant here. Oh no, we can use 2-Gun Kid's text. It's actually pretty good. So we're going to start with 2-Gun Kid. Yeah, this is a bit ugly. So we'll use 2-Gun Kid to attack. We're going to target Captain America and Iron Fist. Now, the weird thing about Stronger Together is the timing of Consequential versus Retaliate happened at 2 different times, so it's not perfect. But we'll make a basic attack choosing 2 enemies instead and resolve the attack against each of them. I'm assuming 1 at a time. So we'll attack for 2. We'll do 2 damage to Captain America and 2 damage to Iron Fist, taking 1 Retaliate. We'll let the Retaliate go through. We'll then play Stronger Together to react to one of these, Retaliate or the Consequential. When a character other than your hero would take any amount of damage, that character shares a trait with your hero, reduce that damage by your defense. So it takes 1 fewer damage, and our attack goes up 1, and we recover 1. Yeah, we're now going to go hide and alter ego for a minute. Iron Fist is no longer a big problem. Okay, so I think this is a totally fine time to do Professor X and hold the foiled, because we can get not underneath us. Because you only tuck in hero mode. So that's another bad part about playing foiled in alter ego. It doesn't really actually work that well. Think of an event that references your attack. You should take the shield. Hey, Scott, how's it going? Okay, cool. Yeah, we got more confirmation there. That's good. So actually, we could, if we wanted to, go ahead and try and take the shield now with Starstruck. There is an event or a treachery that just says do 2 damage to all your allies. So technically 2-Gun Kid can be cooked as long as we don't have the shield. Yeah, we're going to go hide, I think. So if we want to play Professor X, that's 3 cards. If we want to play Quinn Carrier into Starstruck, that's not bad either. And then we just don't play the foiled, which is probably correct. So like Quinn Carrier plus this plays this. Foiled and Starstruck don't do it, but we can always draw a card with Wonder Fan to play Professor X after we jump down. So I think we're going to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to generate the Quinn Carrier resource. We're going to use Foiled and play Starstruck. And now we have overpaid for it. So we got to do 2 things. Firstly, I got to search up the card Starstruck. It says deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. We're going to do it to Captain America. We can knock out Iron Fist, but we don't care. So we're going to do 2 damage to Captain America. We take Retaliate 1. And very importantly, it seems to be we get the stun because we overpaid for it. So that's good. So Cap is stunned. But Cap's shield seems to be worded in a way that this card might actually matter. Because we technically attacked the villain and used our basic attack stat, I think. So we can grab the Captain's shield. We can attach it to us, which means we get the Retaliate. We've now played an event with an energy icon that we can tuck it underneath us, recover 1. Got him. 2-Gun Kid doesn't take Consequential. Doesn't, but took the Retaliate. In theory, we could have done that in the other order, actually. We probably could have just done that in the other order. We would lose 1 attack, though, because this wouldn't be underneath us. I think that's acceptable, because we could have done that attack first, taken the shield off. Oh, no, there was toughness. Yeah, there was toughness. And I think Starstruck has to damage. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it actually might have been better that we did Starstruck first. Get it underneath us. And then we do no damage to Captain America. Yeah, if we did it first, it would have been better, right? You couldn't because you have died. Oh yeah, that too. Never mind. Yeah, we can't because we would have died to retaliate. Yeah, that's very true. We are exhausted. That's fine. We're not exhausted. I mean, we'll jump down. We're in all three go. We're going to use Wonder Fans to draw a card. So we'll draw. Ooh, sucks to lose Jet Belt. But we've committed to this line. So I think we're going to do 1, 2, 3 for Prof X. Jet Belt is not that much better than Quinn Carrier. So we'll play Prof X. When Prof X enter play, we'll also confuse. Where's all my statuses? Hold on. 1 second. We'll confuse Captain America. Prof X, in theory, can... It's like not good to play Prof X and jump down because then Prof X doesn't do much. So we're just going to use Prof X here to thwart this. I don't care about that. If we clear it, Captain America activates against us, which is like not the worst thing to do, but I'd rather do that in hero mode, and we couldn't. So we could have played Prof X before we jumped down and then blocked with Prof X, but if Prof X clear this, I guess he's exhausted, and we will recover 3. That's our turn. Not too bad. That was a bad top deck. That's it. Let's go. Ready up. Nick Fury's here. Okay, so we draw an energy siphon. We're good. Oh, we're good. We might be able to heal one more time before we jump up. Defiance is nice, but not that we want to keep it. There's the energy siphon, so this means we can play a free Nick as much as it does cost us health. Second Defiance sucks because we won't keep these cards. Starstruck is good as much as we already have a stun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is Wasp, and we don't have our Mr. Hollywood yet, so Wasp is going to be full price Wasp. That being said, we can still draw into. We have a lot of draw in our hand. This goes to 1. Confused. Iron Fist thwarts for 2. Iron Fist doesn't have teamwork. We draw 1 encounter card. It's Dagger. Okay. When revealed, heal 2 damage from the enemy leader, which we can do. Deal 2 damage to a character you control. We'll do it to Prof X. Hey, that's actually perfect. Because Prof X would have been discarded. All right. This is a board state for 2-Gun Kid. If we've ever seen one, the issue is we need to get 2-Guns Kid's attack up. So we have 2 more copies of Unified Strike to be able to clear the board, which would be kind of sick. No damage, no shield. No damage, no shield. Yeah. Yeah, we wouldn't take the shield off either, which is good. Now, this is where it gets awkward. It's like if we want to play Unified Strike, we have to be readied. Not you, but this. And if we are exhausting here to recover 3, Unified Strike doesn't do anything. I still think that's okay because it should be easy to knock out Dagger, and then we can just do a 2-Gun Kid into Dagger Captain America and then use Wasp for Iron Fist. Energy Siphon is a hero ability. I think we have enough cards tucked underneath us. We'll use Wonder Fans just to draw a card. So we'll draw 1. It's an active altruism. That's like fine. It's cheap. It's good healing. Those are all 3 in the deck. And I think we will recover 3 because keeping our health up is important because that's all we do. Keeping the stun means we'll hold the shield for more turns and then we'll flip up. Okay, I think we're just going to cook our health here. So we're going to go ahead and do Energy Siphon. There's a chance that we don't have to be super greedy with this because it'd be pretty ugly to take damage with this and then have extra cards in hand. Extra cards can always be used for things like Active Altruism and Wasp. So I think we actually can take some damage here. So we're going to take 3 damage. As much as we just healed that to play a Nick Fury for free. So this generates 4 resources and Nick Fury enters play. And you know how it is with Nick. We draw 3 cards here. 1, 2, nice. 3. There is the Mr. Hollywood, which is going to make this hand a lot better. Okay. That's a lot of defiances, it turns out. We'll definitely use the Quinn Carrier to play Mr. Hollywood. And this card is just so sneaky good because now all cards that we overpay for are just overpaid for by 1. Really, really easy to do. So we have 1, 2, 3 cards we can overpay for. I don't honestly think we need the Helicarrier, but we probably can play it. And we dump everything extra into Wasp. Starstruck only costs us 1 resource because we can overpay for it. Active Altruism is we don't need much out of it. So I think we'll just do what we can here. So we'll play 1, 2, 3 for Helicarrier. Just a resource generator. We'll exhaust it to play. It's not going to be the biggest Wasp, huh? Actually, Starstruck is not that good. So I think we won't use Starstruck because we're already going to attack something underneath us. We'll be at full health. So we're going to use Helicarrier to play Wasp. So we now played Wasp. Actually, you can't use Helicarrier and Wasp. I forgot about that. So we're going to play Wasp. We're going to overpay with Hollywood. And then we're going to overpay 1. So she has 2 health. So she'll probably do an attack here and block next turn. So Helicarrier wasn't super necessary, but what can you do? Yeah. So actually, if that was the case, we should have used Helicarrier to play Hollywood and then we can use Quinn Carrier to play Wasp. I think we were still allowed to do that because using the Helicarrier versus not using the Helicarrier, obviously we should use the Helicarrier. And I think we Quinn Carrier to Hollywood, which doesn't make sense when we have the Helicarrier. So that's a slightly better ordering. Hey, Don Claymore, how's it going? Big fan of your videos. Thank you. Welcome. The channel has been growing like pretty consistently. Thank you for the kind words, let alone hanging out in the channel. Hopefully it's been good. We'll play Active Altruism. So this card costs 0, so it's going to remove 1 threat. We can overpay, so it removes 3 threat. We'll just clear this. In theory, there was a line that we could use to clear this and then Starstruck to restun Captain America. I don't think we really need to. This tucks underneath us. We're at max attack. We'll recover 1. All right, Wasp will attack for 3 into knocking out our dagger. Then we'll use 2-Gun Kid. I mean, maybe it's bad to use 2-Gun Kid down to 1 health, but we can replay 2-Gun Kid again, and it's good value here. So 2-Gun Kid will attack for 2 into 2. So Captain America takes 2, Iron Fist gets knocked out. It's also not great to have a stun to Nick Fury, but Nick Fury will attack for 2. Villain takes 2, down to 14, and that's it. We'll pass. We got a couple chump blockers here. We have another Unified Strike coming up, and we are max attack. So this is the issues about Unified Strike, is if we exhaust ourselves, we can't clear the cards underneath us. And if we can't clear the cards underneath us, we are not healing, and we definitely need a heal. Ionic Blast, we definitely need a heal here. So getting cards underneath us and attacking twice will be good. There's the Unified Strike. If we want to do this, we can. It's not super important because if we play this, we're wasting the healing. So I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. War Room. So we defeat things. We can remove threat. So far, threats hasn't just been that important in this encounter. Psylocke is our nice confused card with all our research generators. Should be easy to play her. And Strength makes her even easier to play. So this could be another jump down angle and just keep doing good value stuff. This goes to 1. The captain is stunned. We draw 1 encounter card. If we get attacked, we're not too upset. Okay, that's so bad. And this is what I mean. Like, cards like this have an additional cost where if you are exhausted, they don't do anything. Those cards can just ruin you. And this is the frustration I think people run into Wonder Man. Now that we're exhausted, we have no way of clearing this. And now that we have no way of clearing this, we have no way of using our ability. And now that we've, like, all these things compound in a really frustrating way. So we're going to get exhausted and surge. Okay, that's at least good. It's an assault. So we're going to get attacked from Captain America. So villain is attacking for 2 amplifying a card. We'll block with Nick, who's on his way out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not drawing Shadows of the Past is always nice. And it's back to us. And unfortunately, being exhausted, we don't do anything here. This is so bad. So we might just jump down, play Psylocke, and do that sort of thing. We definitely are going to Ionic Blast because it's the overpay card that we have in our hand. But I think we play Psylocke, we attack, we confuse, we run away. And that's kind of it. And then we just keep cards underneath us, which like stinks, but you do as you will. We could just do Wasp for 3 damage here. She's really easy to play, and she'll get in our discard pile before we deck out if we attack now and attack next turn. So I think we're going to do 1, 2, 3. We're not going to play this 4 into Psylocke. Actually, we should. Are we going to play War Room? No. So we'll keep the extra energy icon for Ionic Blast. So we'll play Psylocke. Comes into play. Good 3 health. She's one of the few Tooth Ward allies in the game for aggression. And she has a bunch of psionic counters. She has a pair of them. And now when she attacks, which she will, she has this interrupt first, where she's now going to attack for functionally 1 into 1. So the villain takes 2, and we get it confused, which is great. Was wondering what man's nemesis bad. Just wondering, don't remember. He's not that bad. It's the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper adds a lot of cards into the deck that just spawns a Grim Reaper, but he's just 2 attack quick strike. And yeah, he defeats allies. The side scheme makes it harder to attack, but the Grim Reaper is honestly not that bad. And there's certain like protection decks with like Change of Fortune where you actually kind of want him. But yeah, just 2 attack quick strike and a lot of cards that spawn him over and over again. I think it's the side schemes that actually generally more annoying. Okay, that's Psylocke. We'll attack for 3 with Wasp. Okay. That's mostly it here. We're not going to use any of our resources. We can draw a card with Wonder Fans just to like cycle through our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. So we will do that. We could have played Psylocke after we jumped down, which would probably been strictly correct because we're going to waste a card here. And we could have used that card to make Ionic Blast worse. Yeah, I think we messed up here. We definitely should have played Psylocke once we jumped down because the card we're going to get from Wonder Fans isn't good. And making Ionic Blast do 9 damage is actually super, super important because it hits the breakpoint on Captain America. So if we want to hit the breakpoint, because all these villains, when you advance them, they can't take any more damage this round. Leaving Captain America on one attack is really, really bad. So that's actually a pretty bad misplay. So I'm gonna retcon this, that we technically, oh, we had no more energy icons in our hand, so it's not actually that bad. Yeah, if we had one more energy icon in our hand, oh no, because we could have used the helicarrier to play the Ionic Blast. Because we pay one, overpay one. Because, yeah, say that we use the helicarrier on Ionic Blast. Like, technically we should rewind this. So imagine we did rewind this. I think it's actually kind of important. So we'll do this, because we're going to pay for this in a bit. Let me just rewind this. Apologies. So the villain recovers 2. It's not confused. This goes back into our hand. So this is our 5-card hand. Oh, that is Wasp on there. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I guess they're all overpaying energy all the time. I think it is technically better to do helicarrier to play Ionic Blast, and then just dump all the energies we have into this, which unfortunately I think we're still short even if we take this back. So this is doing 3 damage, overpaying 5 damage, 6, 7 damage, 9 damage. No, this is way better. So this just does 9 damage to Captain America. The villain goes down to 2, which is exactly what we're going to be able to do, because now when we flip down, now we can use Wonder Fans. This is way better to draw a card. And then we're going to just dump those cards into Psylocke. And then Psylocke will attack, getting the Confuse. Oh, the bad part about this is the Confuse actually will get knocked off because I think Captain America 3 has Steady. So whatever. I'm going to commit to this line because it's better. But Psylocke is now going to attack, get the Confuse, but I do think he has Steady. So it's not going to be perfect. So if we wanted to stand the other way, we would not maybe threat through this. We might threat through this, but I still think this is fine. So go for the Confuse. Psylocke attacks. The villain takes 2, so we advance. Problem is when we advance, Steady is there, and we get another encounter card. So a bit risky. As much as if this clears, we don't lose the game. But that's it. 22 health. When revealed, deal each player an encounter card. Captain America cannot take damage. So it's really nice to clear that and then start the next turn with Captain America on 22 health. Okay, that was it. We'll pass. So the Confuse is not going to work. That was the one thing that we forgot about. But we can do a lot of damage. 1, aggressive conditioning. We have an energy siphon, so you technically can take 3 damage to play aggressive conditioning, or take 2 damage to play conditioning to get 3 health. Like, it technically heals. Stronger Together is really good for 2-Gun Kid. Enraged on 2-Gun Kid actually works with Stronger Together, so we can do a bunch of damage if we get a minion. And then we have a Sunfire, which we'll see if there's an attachment. Why did the hero take 2 from Psylocke's attack? Oh, because Psylocke's interrupt. Right? Because Psylocke says when it attacks an enemy, remove a counter to confuse that and deal 1 damage. And because it's an interrupt, it happens first. So Psylocke hits for 1, gets the Confuse, and then hits for 1. So it's actually really quite good with things like Float Like a Butterfly. Yeah, she technically is in a 2 attack for 2 of her attacks, right? And also kind of has like pseudo piercing. This goes to 2. The villain is now going to scheme for 2 and an amplify and a card, so 3. Wow, that's a good draw. So just 3. We don't even advance. Goes to 5. And we get 2 cards. First, Assault. Okay, this just got surged because we're in Alter Ego. We've kept the shield for a long time. Luke Cage, when revealed. Stun your leader, otherwise you are stunned. Again, this is what's so bad, is our kit is about clearing the cards underneath us, and we literally can't when we're stunned or exhausted. This is 2 turns in a row where the entire kit collapses on itself because we are stunned or confused. It is so annoying. That being said, if we had an attack event, which we technically could 50-50 draw one, we could get rid of this, but we currently don't have an attack event. So stun is saying, oh, you have a blank text box, you can't heal anymore. It is really, really frustrating. At least 2-Gun Kid has a setup. Street Defenders from Hell's Kitchen. When revealed, each minion active against the player. Oh, that's fine. Otherwise, the enemy leader activates against you. Good thing we got this in the right order. So this just schemes for 1 more on 6. Okay, 2 cards in our deck. It's Thor and Ionic Blast. So there's a 50-50 that we actually can clear the stun. It's an important 50-50 here, so I can't shuffle 50-50 enough, so I think we'll roll a die. Because I'm pretty sure Wonder Fans is what we start here. Tucking a card underneath this doesn't do anything, so we just have to 50-50. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need the attack event. 4, 5, 6. Got it. Nice. All right, so now we can clear the stun and get the cards away from underneath us, which is nice. We have a 2-Gun Kid set up. But we definitely need to do something here to get the cards away from us just so we can do the thing that we want to do. So coffee break, and I think we're in a good spot here. We've actually been we've been showing what Wonder Man is capable of doing, but we've also been showing the horrible fail states of Wonder Man, which is one stun or one confuse and the whole engine just totally grinds to a halt. Flying close to the sun and all that. Okay, we can't afford to recover here, so we will flip up. And the first thing we want to do is unstun ourselves. The problem is, it's not that we want to unstun ourselves, it's we want to do a basic attack after we fire. Actually, the order doesn't matter here. We just need to attack for 4. So we waste 2 gun get value. Actually, yeah, this is kind of awkward. So if we put Enraged on 2 gun kid, like this is the cool thing we can do, but we don't have a unified strike. So say that we're gonna helicarrier the Enraged on 2 gun kid. So 2 gun kid now has 4 attack, but takes extra consequential. So he's now a 4 attack, 1 thwart. Now he takes 2 consequential, but we can cancel 2 consequential as long as we play stronger together, and that's fine. However, we want to play stronger together when we have nothing underneath us, so that's also fine. So what I think we have to do now is just like play the Ionic Blast to get it out of our hand. I don't think we need another ally. This can play this can play this. Ionic Blast we can just like waste. We in theory can hold on to Sunfire, who will be playable next turn, because we still have the Quinn Carrier left over. Because this, actually with the Quinn Carrier, we can just heal 1. So we'll play this. Yeah, we'll just do this. Sunfire to Ionic Blast. We just get rid of the stun. Okay. And now we're going to attack for, actually first, we're going to do Energy Siphon. So this generates 1 resource, 2 resource, we'll take 1 damage. We'll play Aggressive Conditioning. So this number now is going to get a bit confusing. It's technically 4 attack. I know it's counting the cards underneath here, but there's not a better way to do it. So we technically here have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attack. That number should have been higher than it was. And now we're going to do a basic attack against Captain America for 5 damage. So the villain takes 5 and we clear all the cards underneath us and we go down to 2 attack. Next, 2 gun kid will do the 2 gun kid thing, which 2 gun kid now is going to attack 2 enemies for 4 damage because of Enraged. And we're going to prevent the consequential with Stronger Together. So 4 damage to Luke Cage, 4 damage in Captain America. And before the consequential, we can fire Stronger Together. And Stronger Together says, when a character would take any amount of damage and 2 consequentials enough, reduce it, because we have a matching trait. So we'll reduce it by 2, so 2 gun kid stays alive and we recover 1. Christian, 50 sec. I don't know what that is, but thank you so much. Hello there, great content. Thank you so much. Very appreciate the financial support from the super like. Thanks so much for the kind words, let alone the donation. That's super appreciated. Thank you. It's a nice way to make a Sunday. I'm sure I'll take Wonder Man more out of the 2. Turns out the Herc is a bit better for me. I think a lot of people are enjoying Herc more, which is really funny. As interesting as this setup and this build is. Yeah, thank you, Christian. Hopefully you're well. Okay, so we have 6 health. We can use Psylocke as a blocker. I think we're just going to use Psylocke to get her value in before she decks out. Well, she won't deck out, but she's going to attack for 1 and 1. So the villain takes 2 and we get the full confuse. Mind you, our friend here is steady. Then we're going to attack with Wasp, who's going to do 3. And if we didn't have the stun here, I think we actually might have had lethal that turn. We could have done 22 damage in that single turn, I think. Maybe not, but maybe. That's it. We're going to deck out, so we're going to draw 2 encounter cards, but Captain America, we have a chump blocker. We have 6 health is not a lot, but we can always defend if we need to. And we might draw some Defiances, which would be good. We'll pass. So we draw Thor, who is the other card that we can attach it to. So far, Thor would have no text this game because we've never drawn to multiple minions. I think when you play solo, I'm not sure if you should play Thor, unless you're specifically playing a scenario like Green Goblin or Ultron that guarantees multiple minions. But Thor is another one that you can do the cool tricks to. Actually, just having a 3 health toughness is like not the worst thing in this game. Oh, we're gonna thread out. I forgot about that. I don't care. We definitely could have used Psylocke to thwart for 2 instead of attacking for 1 and 1 in the confused. That actually might have been better. Yeah, F it. Let's just do that. Let's just do this instead, and Captain America will heal too. Because at 8 versus 10 is not a very big break point. Technically, she has her counter. Yeah, I forgot about that. I got too lost in the damage sauce. Oh, this is a 3. Yeah, the math is hard because it's our stat, which is 2 plus 1. So it's 3 attack is our attack stat. We also can defend for 2. Ideally, we send an ally in the way because we don't want to we want to chump block. because it preserves the shield, and preserving the shield preserves a lot of damage. Robert, thank you as well. Hey, that's €5. I recognize that currency a bit more. Thanks so much. It's very kind. It says, let's celebrate first super on a live stream. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to hit this button. I have no idea what this does. It wants to celebrate. I don't know how to. I think it just wants me to hype. Thank you so much, though. That's very kind. Thank you so much for the support. Very appreciated. All right, we are owed 4 more cards here. Let's see what happens. So we got Thor. Active altruism, okay. I'm typing in an unknown chat box. So this is just some cheap removal and some cheap healing. Unified strike means if we draw an ally, we're in a good spot because a 2-gun kid who doesn't take consequential. Another active altruism is whatever. And what are you? It's like, maybe we can play this and just like play dead, because this does allow you to play dead. It also fills your thing, which is kind of fun. But not that that's super important. This goes to 5. Captain is attacking for 3 and a boost and a card. We'll put Psylocke on the way to preserve the shield. Thank you. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Not drawing under fire is the best gift you could ask for. That's amazing. So she's knocked out. We draw 2 cards. First card. Super Soldier Serum. Okay, this is scary if the next thing's an attack, because Super Soldier Serum gives 5 attack and overkill, so you can't chump block your way out of this. We could lose. This does something. Resistance Fighter. This might just surge. Attach to a minion, other surge. Yeah, okay. And the defenders. So this just has some threat on it, which we can clear. And all the minions have guard, which doesn't matter. We might have lethal this turn. So again, 2-gun kid attacks for 4. We attack for 3. This is where Unified Strike is not good, because if we play, we exhaust ourselves, so it doesn't actually do anything. But I think we just have a straight lethal here, right? Because we can go up to 4 attack, 5 attack, 9. We play Thor. I think we have lethal just off the table. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have lethal off the table. So we are going to play Active Altruism. Yeah, thanks so much for the donations. That's really, really kind. Remove 1 threat from a scheme, whatever. We'll just remove, technically we'll remove 3 threat because we did overpay for it. We'll tuck it underneath. We'll recover 1. We'll go 1. We'll play another Active Altruism. We'll remove 1, 2, 3. Obviously splitting this is kind of silly, but we now have 5 attack. We'll recover 1. So now we have on the table 5 plus 9. So we'll just do Quinn Carrier, Helicarrier. This card for Thor. Aggression Thor, 3 health and toughness. Technically has text. Yeah, so then we will attack for, I guess the order here doesn't matter. You can split Active Altruism for rules. Wait, what? You can split this card? Remove 1 threat from a scheme, remove 2 threat from that scheme. No, you can't split it. You can't split for altruism? Yeah, sorry. I thought you said you could. Yeah, we can't split it. I did 1 here, 1 here. Obviously, this looks strange, but it doesn't matter. It's because we're going to win this turn. So we don't have to be clever about this. 2-gun kid is going to attack for 4. In theory, we can play Unified Strike here. So we could have like pitched something else. It doesn't really matter. So when using an ally, will exhaust us. So in theory, 2-gun kid is attacking technically for 18, because we actually did do the thing that we wanted to do all game, but we don't have an ally, let alone they have guard, but we could clear it. But in theory, 2-gun kid now is attacking, is not going to take consequential and adds our stats. So this is what we've been building at for the whole game. We did get it here, but it doesn't matter. But 2-gun kid technically has 4 attack with enrage, plus 5 is 9, is attacking for 18. Unfortunately, there's not 2 targets, so we'll take Captain America down to 9, take no consequential, so we beat the enrage, and Thor will just attack for 3. And we win. That's what this deck is meant to do. You do see when the gears get gummed up, it's like kind of frustrating, but the parts of it do work. I wish this was smoother. The whole healing brawler engine is like, does just get jammed at some points, but it's like a really fun loop. We had a very good start, like 2-gun kid on turn 1 and his text fired twice, but that's still technically fine. And then we got our research generators really soon. I think Mr. Hollywood's like one of the best cards in the deck. This thing is definitely worth getting as soon as you can. But Captain America, we took the shield that we never let it go, which is buck wild. That was actually a relatively fast game for this channel. That's a list. This enrage is actually kind of good. I like it. I've seen other versions of this sort of combo where you give yourself like, what is it, brute force strength or something, and you give yourself +1. But what I didn't like about this build from the distance is if you're giving yourself brute force, but then never attacking, your text box is blank, right? Like it's hard to get the cards out from underneath you. And if you're deciding to never attack because you want your attack to be as nonsense big as possible, you kind of play a blank text box, and that doesn't excite me. But that's sort of the idea, right? But this is another way to do it. And honestly, +1 attack and a piercing sometimes makes sense in certain games for sure. I thought there'd be more allies that can just add your attack to them. I think the ones I'm thinking of are like Rogue, not Rogue Gambit, but Rogue Protection. I think she can actually use your stats, but I think she says printed. Add the character's printed thwart attack. So unfortunately, Rogue I don't think works with Captain America, with Wonder Man. Excuse me, because it's not your printed stats. All right, not too bad, but that's usually how the leaders go. They're not putting on that much pressure, and you can just kind of set up through them. Where are we going now? We've been streaming for an hour and a half. Do we just do another leader, or do we want to do another box? I think it's in our best interest to play against a scenario that has a lot of minions. I wonder if we have the thwarting power to deal with what's it called, mutants at the mall and sentinels. It's been a while since we played sentinels. I wonder if it's good. Probably is fine. I just feel like we played sentinels on this stream. What's it called? Project Wide Awake. I'm not getting the name of what this thing is called. I think it's Project Wide Awake in a while. Hope Summer's doing campaign works good for Wonder Man. Oh yeah, she doesn't care about printed, right? She cares about your stat. She gets the thwart attack equal to the thwart attack of your hero. Yeah, she seems really quite good. I find Civil War villains to be kind of weak. We were playing She-Hulk yesterday and it wasn't kind of meh. Yeah, I think they're kind of weak. I think the design is built around the fact that there's cards that you shuffle in when you play PvP that allow your opponent to make the best choice, and that technically means they'll land. But yeah, out of like, I can show my stats actually right now on screen. 1 second. My stats against these characters are kind of bad. Sorry, I'll show you what I mean in a second. So I do all my stat tracking. I have shared this publicly. I've since redone it. This is not going to be a good thing to look at because I'm going to show you a phone on the screen, but I do track, and technically we have +1 game here, but this is my current win rate against the different difficulties against the, and I don't think like win rate's that important. That's really, really tiny text, so it's not really worth saying, but I've played 42 games against these leaders. I have lost 2 games. Most of those games are on expert. I lost to Captain America twice. And I think it was with a, like something that I thought was actually pretty good. It just kind of got me, which is bad. Go for Mutagen Formula. Yeah, Mutagen Formula. I think we also did play that one on stream somewhat recently. Mutagen Formula is the one that starts with like Surge 600, which sometimes can be pretty bad. I could see doing either of them. Mutagen Formula is fun. The issue with Mutagen Formula is there's a couple guard minions. That's not that bad. Yeah, let's try Mutagen. Hold on. Let me just grab it 1 second. Let me clean this up first, and we'll try Green Goblin, which is going to be a real test of things because that is a much harder scenario. So I'm not going to do a good job cleaning this. I'm just going to get out the standard cards. Cedric, Zola I think is a good option. I think Zola might be step 3 because Zola has a lot of minions, except the minions are bigger. We're not good at dealing with a lot of bigger minions, I don't think, because we need a lot of our boost cards to line up. I think we're a lot better at dealing with a lot of smaller minions like the goblins. But Zola was like the thing I actually wanted to try this against in the first place. We're going to need one of those. Cool. Sinister Six. Oh yeah, that's actually a really good matchup. Multi-villain scenarios I haven't considered. The issue with Sinister Six, the reason why we don't play a lot of Sinister Six or multi-villain scenarios is that this setup here with the health, with Captain America's health on it, I have a setup for 2 villains. I don't have a setup for 4, let alone 6 villains. So the only way to set it up is by having these dice. And these dice are technically legible on stream, but they're not the best. But yeah, it's the thing where our overlay doesn't work anymore, which is not a really good reason not to do them. But yeah, multi-villain scenarios, let's try that. Let's try a multi-villain and go from there. F it, let's do Sinister Six. I think it'll be fun. That's a fun 2 gun kid scenario. And I'm not sure if it's going to be bad for us otherwise. Let me go grab it. I think it has the right sleeves. Give me 1 moment. And I'm going to do the thing that I thought we should do anyways. I'm going to cut this one foiled, which is way too cute. And in the foiled slot, I think I'm going to put in 1 more copy of Stronger Together because it is genuinely very quite good with our deck. So this is, oops, this is what we need. Give me 1 moment. Just need to step across the room. Thank you so much, Flip. Often Netrunner, thanks for streaming and having fun out there. Thank you. Enjoy your Netrunner. Let me know how it goes. I would really love for the whale soup thing to be or the wolf soup thing to be a bit more consistent. And it might be. Enjoy. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Did a Red Skull campaign with Wonderman and roll on it? Like you rolled through it? Leadership aerial deck works great. I take it you're playing Flight Squadron, right? Like the proper leadership aerial thing. Because I think that card's cracked. Like the fact that you get the ready too, like Flight Squadron, I think that's the name of it, right? It's so good because it says after an ally limit, after you play an aerial card, exhaust this card, ready an ally you control. Oh yeah, so it's still good. And then you have some allies I think that can ready you. I'm pretty sure there's like some extra readying in that set. All right. We have the right sleeves. That's a good start. Okay, this scenario is a lot harder for me than some others. I mean, me as Andre the person, like I do lose this scenario more than I lose other scenarios. We'll remove the foiled. We'll put another stronger together. We could put the threat one, but I think this will be fine. And so the way that I play this is instead of setting them aside, I just put all 6 on the table. This corner can get a bit hot, but we're going to put them on the table. Only when they have health in front of them are they active. Okay, so if you see them, it doesn't mean that they're there, but if they have health, it means that they're there. I've never played this on stream. I'm realizing how far these are away from me, but that's probably fine. This is in the numerical order, right? 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 6 of them, of course. This goes here. That's the main that we care about. This is the side scheme that we have to do to get out. If you haven't played this one, it can be quite difficult. It can snowball pretty bad. Stunner Confused goes pretty hard, but not all the way, and that should be it. Is Netrunner a good game for new players? Is there still available content for it? Robert, yes, there's a lot of content for it. Specifically, the game is made by a company called Null Signal Games. They're a nonprofit volunteer organization. But if you go onto their website, they have a store. You can buy everything directly from them, let alone if you just want to try the game out. They are as accessible as they can because they're nonprofit. Like they're running a business, but they're also not like capitalists in the classic sense. They have everything for print and play for free or pay for what you want. So you have Marvel Champions sleeves or Marvel Champions cards and sleeves. You can print off System Gateway. That is the welcome, like the core set, which is the best core set Netrunner's ever had. And it'll teach you the game gradually by giving you a starter deck and then slowly folding in more cards and more ideas. It's incredible. Is the game good for new players? The game is really cool because it's very, very exciting to learn. Even if you're losing, it's like very, very exciting. The game is just good. That being said, the game does have a high skill ceiling. Like playing against Netrunner's both good and bad in that way. Like there's so much to learn because the game is very open and what you can do on every turn. That often keeps people wanting to learn and figure out more. Good players will beat you. Like experience obviously shows in that game, like in most games. But the cool thing about Netrunner is that you always have a chance, even if you are very inexperienced, to take a game off of anyone. Just because the game has some elements of luck built in, the same way a lot of card games do, that can just work out for you. For those who don't know, Netrunner is a game in which you have a deck that has agendas in them. Agendas are cards that corporations need to score to win and runners need to steal. And the way that you see agendas is if you run R&Ds, that's your deck, you get to see the top card of the deck. If it's an agenda, you steal it. So it's about a 1 in 5 chance every axis is an agenda, and sometimes you can just run hot. So I don't know. The game is incredible. There's nothing like it, but it is technically like a competitive 1v1 game. So it's a different mindset to Marvel Champions. But the community is just so welcoming and kind and diverse and just like the best. You will never go to a store and say I'm a new player and not leave with like people trying to give you so much stuff and like try and teach you the game. It's incredible. Keep track of the active villain, can pull them down 1 centimeter or something just to make sure it's more notable than dice. Oh, Christian, no, for sure. I'm just going to keep which ones are in play by health, but we will keep the active villain with the active villain thing. So the active villain will be super obvious. It's just like if there's no health there, that means that they're not there, right? You know what I mean? Hopefully that's the compromise between the two. If it doesn't make sense, let me know. But we'll have the active villain counter for sure. Okay, let me just set this up. You can easily add cards to your deck that are better in multi-villain scenarios. Actually, easy is not it, but there's certain heroes that have kits that are really good into multi-villain scenarios. We're not going to play with any of the campaign mode stuff, which makes the scenario way harder. And we're going to start here with Sinister Synchronization. Is it the Sinister Six or just Sinister Six? Nice. Okay, so we have, to put that away, we have this in the deck. So Sinister Six, 16 cards, almost all the treacheries say somebody activates, and there's a whole bunch of attachments. So that'll be good with the Sunfire. Guerrilla Tactics adds a bunch of things that just get in the way, and then some side schemes that scale with the amount of enemies in play. So you really need to deal with them quickly. There's this thing on the table with 20 threat on it, and we'll be adding and removing threat by just defeating things. So mixed bag to see how far we can go off of that, but a very good two-gun kid scenario for sure. Sinister Synchronization. This is a really good choice. Good shout out to Sinister Six. So as all the villains, however, we'll only start, I think, with 2 in play. Set up, choose X villains at random where X is 1 more than the number of players. 3 and 6. Okay, we're going to get Hobgoblin and we're going to get Vulture. So I'll show you all their text. Mind you, the way that their text works isn't the way that I think it works. I've been corrected on stream. I'll tell you what that issue is. But yeah, the text doesn't work intuitively, I don't think, all the time. So put the active counter on the villain with the lowest activation order. So activation order, we just did linear 1 to 6. So if they have health, they're there. If they don't have health, they're not there. I'm not going to flip them, remove them from the table. It's just too much work. Okay, cool. And set the other villains aside out of play. I'm not going to do that. Put light in the end, trap side face up. This is light at the end. There's 2 sides of this that we have to clear. The other side is a bit worse. Oh, don't look at that side. Hold on. Don't look at that side. That's the side we don't see. This is the side we do see. Comes in with hinder 10. Players cannot win unless they escape. You have to flip this to escape and do some other stuff. When the last threat is removed from the scheme, you resolve the ambush ability. Ambush adds a villain to play, and then you flip this card. It comes in with 10 threat. We'll be adding threat and removing threat from this, and that's mostly it. It's very original and unique. We were looking for a competitive 2-player game. Oh yeah, you can do so much worse than Netrunner. Netrunner is incredible. Mind you, if you want to learn, I have some like stuff on my channel, the Metropolitan Grid, to teach people in the game. There's like a deck building 101 series. I don't have a rules teach, but there's a bunch of good rules teaches on the internet. But Netrunner is like something special. So worth having a couple of marked upgrades to make the most of 2-gun kids cartoon stats. Scott, yeah, I talked about this earlier at the stream. Is the things that we tried in this deck. The one thing that we did try was to play air cover and marked. I think it's such a cool way to triple down on the stats. I couldn't find slots for it. And I think in this scenario, you don't really need overkill. But I think if you're doing 2-gun kid, you might want to do things like cut Thor, I would play air cover and then at least 1 marked. Because air cover is just consistent marked, and marked is not a great draw on most board states. So unless you're playing multiplayer or unless you're playing heroic, maybe, because you're drawing more minions. Speaking of heroic, Bring It is like a really good card that is a lot better in heroic because you're more likely to always be engaged with minions. But Bring It seems like it could be a pretty cromulent card to tuck underneath you to get a damage, let alone a resource healing. And you definitely want the damage on the turn that you play it. Okay, sorry, out of breath. There are 2 main schemes. This can pop out of nowhere. There's some like really bad chains of surge sometimes in this scenario. So this is the other side of Sinister Synchronization. It already comes in with 2 threat. It gets 1 a turn. Says the ambush ability, when we're told to do this, choose a set aside villain and randomly put them into play. And then when we're on expert mode, we add 2 threat to light at the end. So this number can just straight go up. When a villain would activate, if there is no villain in play, do the ambush and then they activate against you. So we have 2 villains here. We have Hobgoblin. Oh, we should be playing on, they don't have expert sides, right? Yeah, they don't have expert sides. They just, the text of the scenario gets worse. There's also a bunch of encounter cards that have worse text that say, if you're on expert, this does this. Okay, so rules quandary here. All of these cards have the same when defeated. Remove 4 threat from a side scheme or 7 threat if there are no other villains in play, and then this villain is set aside. So we'll just clear the health and leave them on the table. But they all have forced responses that say, after this villain does damage, they each have a different condition. Take 2 indirect damage if Hobgoblin attacks and damages you. You as the player, if you block with an ally, should be fine, I think. Oh, I'm not 100% sure. Then move the active counter to the next villain in the activation order. So the rules issue I have with this wording, which I don't agree with, but I've been told that it is the way, is that if the first text doesn't fire, for some reason, the move text is a conditional clause attached to the first text. I couldn't tell you why. But say that you perfectly block against Hobgoblin and take no damage, you shouldn't take 2 indirect damage then. We can all agree on that. But apparently moving this is contingent on that first text firing. I don't know why. It doesn't say and, it doesn't say if, it doesn't say then. To me, I'd read them as 2 separate sentences. But apparently that's a forced response trigger that is conditional. So if you ever fully block Hobgoblin, or I think toughness, or maybe block with an ally, I'm not 100% sure about that, this actually does not move. So Weird. I don't love that ruling, but that's how it is. This is Vulture. Vulture has 7 health, technically the weakest. He is an older man, not in the greatest health usually. After Vulture attacks and damages you, choose and discard a card from your hand, and then move this over, and he attacks a bit harder. 7 health, 9 health is not too bad. 9 health is the most. Actually, no, Scorpion has 10 health, but he doesn't scheme well. So otherwise, that's usually between 7, 8, and 9. So we have a lot of damage on the table, and there's a whole bunch of encounter cards that say, like, the villain activates, add the attack of another villain to this villain, and it can get worse and worse and worse and worse. So you need to proactively be clearing the board on all parts. Star-Lord and Two-Gun Kid with Energy Spear, there's some good combos for this. There's some really good Guardian payoffs in Simon or in Wonder Man. You just don't have access to them. But yeah, he is a very good Ultron character if you want to attach a lot of stuff to the Two-Gun. All right, I feel like I shuffled that way more than enough. So we're all on the same page? Let's do this. Attacks and damages you. That should be you, the hero, not you, the player. Right? Right? Please, someone let me know, because I hate looking this up for the 12th time this month. I'm pretty sure. Nolan, how much have I missed? We've been streaming for about an hour, 47 minutes, and 20 seconds. Happy lose an hour day. We played one game and we relatively crushed through Captain America on Expert. We are playing a Two-Gun Kid deck and imbuing Two-Gun Kid's stats and keeping him safe by playing Stronger Together and Unified Strike. And so far it's been not super like you'd think a combo like that would be really inconsistent. Nah, seems fine. I think we should take Thor out of the deck for this scenario. I think Thor is garbage. Yeah, I'm going to take Thor out of the deck before we start. Oh, hey, Two-Gun Kid. Because Thor has... we'll keep him in. It's fine. His toughness is worth something. Okay, you as Wonder Man. Thank you, chat. I mean, it seems intuitive. So Thor is not very good because there's like 2 minions in this whole set. If we took out Thor, what would we put in this spot? Because Thor aggression technically works, but Thor aggression's not very good. After Thor attacks a minion, engage with a player, spend, resolve this attack. Like, this text will be blank. There's 2 minions in this whole deck. So we should replace Thor with something. What should we replace Thor with? What is a card that we want to play in this? Oh, Aerial Bombardment. Aerial Bombardment is so good in this scenario. No, that's not what this card is called. Aerial Strike. There's a card that says exhaust yourself, deal 3 damage to everything. We should play as many of those as we can, technically. Let me get 1 copy, and that'll be our Thor, because 1 second. Yeah, AoE cards are really good. It's called Bombs Away. It has good art. If we wanted to make much shorter work from this, we should attach multiple copy of Bombs Away to the deck. Thank you, Nolan. But Bombs Away, really quite nice. We have the other art here, but it says exhaust an aerial character you control, which is not perfect because sometimes you want to be ready. And I think we're now the only aerial character in our deck, which is kind of bad. So deal 3 damage to the villain and each minion engage with that player. Oh, it says the villain. Never mind, that's not right, because there's only 1 villain. If it says the villain you can choose, it doesn't actually work in this scenario. I'm so excited for that. So what do we do? I think I want to play an ally because blocking with allies is really good in this scenario. Are there any allies that are good against AoE villains? I don't think so. In aggression? I'm not 100% sure there are. Sorry, this is off camera a bit. I guess we'll just make a mess. Like, Dust is when she attacks a minion, she can AoE attack. Gold Balls is just a good card. We don't want to play Angela in this scenario. Captain America's not great. Winter Soldier's not great. In theory, we're incentivized to play allies, shields, and Avengers because we can grab them. We obviously have too many energies to play Hulk, sort of. Actually, Hulk is kind of funny because Hulk can AoE the board consistently. Because Hulk does 1 damage to everything. That technically can AoE things. Hulk should always be hitting energies, right? It just sucks because it'll be eating our allies as well, which is not good. I think we probably have to look at the basic binder, which is the last one. Yeah, exhausting for Bombs Away is kind of expensive. Thor, the Jane Foster Thor. After you play Thor from your hand, deal 2 damage to the villain, 3 damage instead you pay for this card using a physical. Yeah, that's only 1 villain though. 1 second. It's usually the hero cards that say like they can actually attack everybody, not the cards in faction. I think we just play like something cheap here. Like I could see us getting away with, unfortunately, playing and Ironheart. She doesn't have an energy on her, but Ironheart is just a cheap play. We don't need to play Lockjaw because we're good at sinking extra resources. AoE damage, I'm not 100% sure. Hey, Matthew, how's it going? Sunday fun day stream, how are you? How's the daylight savings switch today? Not too bad. Nanako the cat doesn't understand how it works, but yeah, we just slept less today. It'll be bad tomorrow. It usually gets worse during the work week, right? We could do Iron Lad. Iron Lad's actually pretty good, right? Because Iron Lad allows us to add stats from one character to another, and we have a bunch of characters that can have pretty massive stats that we don't want to activate with. I think Iron Lad makes a lot of sense, right? Because we have, well, no longer we have Thor, but we have Two Gun Kid, who is an Avenger, right? That's probably fine. Dumpster Dog is like really good, but then we have so many good ways to sink extra resources in this scenario. Winter Soldier works off of killing an enemy? No, I think he's a minion. Well, I'm in. Yeah, that's good. Actually, I'm into that. And we can make him attack really hard. Like, he's actually another good reason to, with a lot of villains, you're right. That's just like a nice upgrade. Because if we increase his stat, we're technically thwarting for 2 at the same time. Good call. Very good call. All right. I like that. That's a good ending. That's a good choice. Boom Boom. Oh, Boom Boom is AoE. You're right. Boom Boom is not bad. We could use Boom Boom as our insurance policy, because after she stays on the table for a lot of turns, she can blow up the whole board. That's true AoE. The issue with Boom Boom is like she's very, very slow. Because if you play her on turn 1 and you get to turn 8, like she doesn't even kill all villains, and that's 8 turns of a 3-cost sink that does nothing. I think for Boom Boom to be really good, and by really good I mean like okay, you need a lot of ways to ready Boom Boom, which like is probably still not the best use of a ready. I'm assuming she's also a lot better in multiplayer in some ways. All right, let's just give this a pile shuffle and we're off. Okay. I've drank no coffee. It's cold as bone. How's everyone else doing today? It's Sunday. Had a whole week streaming entirely Netrunner, so it's good to be back. We only got a little bit of time to play this. That should be it. All right, we're gonna mulligan. We had a really good mulligan last time. Best card, Mr. Hollywood. Best card, Energy Siphon. Again, we can't tuck if we don't take damage, so we need to take damage on turn 1. We're gonna put this here. We don't usually do that, but we need space. Energy Siphon, still pretty good though. Ionic Blast, don't actually no, really good. Wait, with energy we can just knock out Hobgoblin in one shot and just have Vulture, which is like, maybe we keep both of these. This is a maybe keep, this is a definitely keep. For this to be really good, we want to draw Mr. Hollywood, which makes this card way better. But I mean, I love setting up more than I love sending 9 damage on turn 1, but sometimes it's 9 damage on turn 1, especially with that. Now that's really good, and we can take damage and we can heal. So far, 3 very good cards off the top. I think 2 of them are better than the other, but I really should write more words instead of tabbing through everything. That's not good. Wonder Fans, we've got this on turn 1 multiple times. It's not that good. It allows us to tuck a card or draw a card. I put it in the maybe camp. It's like fine to get it now, but this scenario is not that easy to jump down to alter ego. We have a bit more confused than I think we do. Quinn Carrier, okay. Okay, actually very interesting opening hand. We definitely don't keep this. This is a maybe, Wonder Fans is a maybe. So we're gonna have to do some good math here, right? Because Wonder Fans means we can knock out Hobgoblin and just have 1 villain. Less villains, the better. But of course, Energy Siphon into Quinn Carrier is kind of the best, because we can play that, take some damage on turn 1, which is good. And then we have a Quinn Carrier for only 2 damage. We can do Quinn Carrier plus energy that generates 3 resources for Ionic Blast. That does 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which can knock out Vulture. So that's a cheap knockout. Then we have a card for Wonder Fans that we can either play or tuck. I think I'm going to keep all of this. I don't love spending 3 damage on 1 turn for Ionic Blast, but could be worse. And we have a Psylocke. Actually, that's a really good card for our confusion angle. I stumbled upon your other channels for Netrunner. I've always been interested in that game. Is there a place I should start to learn how to play it? Learn how to play. There's definitely some content out there. I don't have a learn to play video, Matthew. I would recommend, and they have some older cards, so it might still, like the rules are the same, but Team Covenant had a really good learn to play series, if you're familiar with those guys. So if you search out their learn to play series, they walk you through a couple games. The rules are entirely the same. When they did that, like 10 years ago or whatever it is, probably like 6, 7 years ago. So I would start there. I have some deck building 101 stuff and a lot of like fundamentals, like how to get better at playing the game. But if you just want to learn the rules of the game, search Team Covenant. That's what I'd recommend. Smell Spider-Woman, get ready, command team, boom boom deck. Yeah, that's the sort of thing you have to do. And it's like probably not the best thing you can do, but it's a fun thing you can do. All right, so Salak's good because she allows us to jump down, which means Wonder Fans is better. But we know we can Quinn Carrier this. Quinn Carrier plus energy can play Ionic Blast and we'll knock out the Vulture, which means we have only one thing to deal with. Hobgoblin doesn't hit that hard, but the issue is like Hobgoblin's text is pretty bad. So if we could knock out Hobgoblin, that might be better. And then we just take Vulture and take attacks for 2. Because if Hobgoblin technically attacks for 3, as much as indirect damage is, you know, it's indirect damage. That means we could play Psylocke for Wonder Fans. Wonder Fans draws a card. If that card is an energy resource, then we can Ionic Blast Hobgoblin. If we wanted to play Psylocke, we can. So the other options, like we use Quinn Carrier energy plus Quinn Carrier for Psylocke and a card. So we do Ionic Blast Wonder Fans. I think we take the 7 damage while we have it. Like, let's play under the idea that knocking out the villains is so important to stay ahead of it, because you can draw an encounter card that just spawns 2 villains and then there's 4 villains on the table. And obviously, like, only one activates against you every turn, but there's just a lot of cards that scale about the number of enemies in play. So we're going to try this. We'll throw out Psylocke for Wonder Fans. We definitely could use the card on this. We could tuck underneath us a Stronger Together. I mean, that doesn't really do that much. So we're hoping that we draw an energy resource. Oh, shit. That's good. That's good. That is really dang good. So we're going to waste a resource setting it up, but it'll give us the resource back on this turn. So we'll be down 1 resource. So we might not be able to knock out a character this turn. I mean, that's all we got. We'll flip. Can't be upset about that. And so now we're going to do 1. We'll use Energy Siphon. So we'll generate 2 extra resources. So we'll take 2 damage. And then we'll use that to play the Quinn Carrier. Now the Quinn Carrier can generate a wild, which can be an energy. We'll use the Quinn Carrier to play Mr. Hollywood. This card's absurd because now all their cards that have overpay costs are just overpaid for. So we'll generate 1, 2, 3 for Ionic Blast. The question is whether we attack first or we thwart here, because we want to do it before this because the extra damage on this doesn't matter. We, in theory, could do 9 damage by attacking for 1, 2, plus 7 into Mr. Hobgoblin. Or we can just knock out Vulture and then just thwart for 2 on the main. I think I'm going to thwart for 2 on the main, so the order here doesn't matter. So we'll do Ionic Blast at just 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll knock out Vulture. I guess we'll keep that there. So they all have the same text. Remove 4 threat from a side scheme, and they would remove more threat otherwise. We can now tuck this underneath us and heal 1, which we can only do because we took damage this turn. And then we're just going to thwart 2 to keep the main down. Because there's an encounter card that says the villain schemes. I think you have to be an alter ego, and then they get plus scheme equal to as many other villains in play. You add their stats to their stats, and that's a good turn 1 if we've ever seen one. Let's see if this scales, because I'm scared of Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin has bad text, and we have no allies. So we draw. Active altruism, okay. We could, like, honestly, I've never sped run the side scheme, but in theory we could speed run the side scheme, because this already is 3 threat and 1 healing for just a card. Stronger Together is not useful. Starstruck is a stun, so knocking out Hobgoblin's good. Helicarrier if we want to be greedy. And then finally we have an Enrage, which is useless. So we do have the same amount of allies in our deck. Unfortunately, besides Psylocke, they're all in the deck. That's it. This goes to 1 threat. This has no text for this turn. But now we have to deal with the Hobgoblin. So Hobgoblin's attacking for 1 in a card, and if this does damage, we have to take 2 more damage. So in theory, we could block here for 2. It's not very likely. We're on expert, so there's a couple more cards with more boosts. So it's likely here we take 3 damage and then 2 damage, which is 5 damage. I mean, I don't love it, but I don't think we can afford to block here. I mean, we could. It's just like defending 2, though. We're going to have a Starstruck this turn and Active Altruism. Our basic activation is not doing much this turn because there's not a lot of allies. So I think we're actually allowed to block here. And the best case scenario is that this is a 1 or 0 boost. So 1, that's bad. Brute Force Barricade. So we're going to attack for 3. So 1 damage slips through and give the villain an additional boost card. Okay, so even worse. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we block 2, we take 4. And then Hobgoblin's text fires, so we take 2 more. We take 6 damage. If we get a card that says the villain attacks, we might just lose here. That's just how it would be sometimes. And I think we don't. Surprise! In expert mode, this card gains Surge. There's terrible Surge trains in expert here. Resolve the ambush ability on the main scheme. So we have to now do that. And then if no villain was put into play this way, place 3 threats. So that's the punishment for having all 6 villains on the table. Why are all 6 active? No, so how we're going to do it is they're all 6 on the table because I couldn't be bothered to grab them and flip them. The ones with health in front of them are active. Hopefully that's not too confusing, but it's just like a lot of work to bring them in and put them in. I just keep them there, but the ones with health are active. The ones with this is the active one, right? All right, ambush, sinister synchronization. Okay, so the back of this says ambush. Choose a set-aside villain at random. So we'll just do 1 to 6. They are all numbered. If we roll 3, we'll roll again. So it's Craven. So this jumps to Craven. And then we have to place 2 threat here because we're playing on expert. This doesn't attack, but it has a surge. So like we could be bad again. So now Craven is the active villain, has 9 health. After Craven, the hunter attacks and damages you, discard a support or upgrade you control. That is a fair bit worse. At least we have Mr. Hollywood. I mean, at least we can get rid of our fans. Expert, this has surge. This is how you die. Like, we're going to have 5 villains on turn 2. Partnership of Pain. When revealed, the villain with the highest activation and value attacks you with +X attack, where X is equal to the total attack of all other villains in play. I think we lose on turn 1. It's not unlikely we lose on turn 1. So the villain with the highest activation order is Craven. Craven will attack us for 3 in a card. If this is a 2 boost, we die on turn 1. Yeah. We die. I'm telling you, the surge trains and expert are really, really bad here. We added a villain and immediately activated. But Craven attacks for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, Jai, how's it going? I mean, could be worse. Could be better, though. How are you doing? Oh, boy. I mean, I guess we reset. This is a much harder scenario, especially in solo. We could have got an ally down there. Why are they all in play? So they're not in play. The only ones that are in play are the ones with health on them. I'm just leaving the cards on the table, so we have to do less management. But the only ones in play are the ones with dice in front of them with the health counters. Yeah, we took 12 damage on turn 1. Actually, no, we took 10 because I think some of that was self-inflicted because we took 2. I guess we healed 1. So maybe we took 11. I mean, sometimes that happens. Like, that's sometimes the solo issue. Luckily, it doesn't cost you that much time. But we'll just have to now redo everything. So I'm going to roll the die twice, 1 to 6. We're going to do 3 and 2. Okay, so it's Electro and Craven. So 9 health, 8 health. And imagine if we didn't knock out Vulture, that attack would have been for 2, 3, 4, 5. It would have been a 7 attack on turn 1. So I'm good that we knocked it out, but playing an ally there was maybe a bit safer. Yeah, that was tough. That happens. All right, re-rack. Man, our opening was so good, though. I can't believe we died. We'll have to redo all of this. Yeah, I remember this scenario just being frustrating sometimes. Having a lot of allies is really, really good. Problem is we don't want to chump block with our allies. So it's like we're in an aggression deck, but we don't really want to rush down. If we open with a 2-gun kid, like we're kind of gaming, that's for sure. Because we drew a lot of 2-gun kid support cards. All right, let's send this back. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, Dunkley, let me know if this makes sense, but we're only the ones with health are in play. I just don't want to move the cards around over and over again. This is how I play when I'm off camera, so it's about the same here. Yeah, it's like these characters don't get worse stats when you're playing on expert, but the fact that so many cards get surge, and that ambush card having surge on it is like so much worse. That's not what it's called. I forget what the ambush card is called. It's obviously not this one. But adding surge to adding another villain in play just means like, oh, you had a stun or confuse, whoops, jumps to the next person, and now they activate against you. So it's really hard to play around things. Yeah, 12 health was a lot. We did take 1 damage. So that's on us. Technically, if we took 1 fewer damage to Energy Siphon, we would have survived. But yeah, we're still in a bad spot there on turn 1 regardless. This starts with 2. All right, take 2. Again, our alter ego doesn't really matter. We want to open up the way we want to open up. That big old burst of 9 damage to 7 damage on turn 1 is probably worth it. Electro now has 8 health as the smallest. I guess we should look at Electro's text. Electro probably is threat related. Oh, discard. This one's the least bad by a mile. After Electro attacks and damages, you discard the top 7 cards of your deck. I don't care about that. That's just RNG at the wheel. That doesn't lose us the game ever. Sometimes it's frustrating when you lose a key upgrade for the first cycle, but like that is, I think, the weakest out of all of them by a mile. Because this is stun. Discard a card, that sucks. Discard upgrade or supports that sucks. Die, that's bad. This is add threat to everything, which is bad. And this one is just lose 7 cards. It's fine. Last game started as well with 1 health turn 1. Yeah, you're right. We came back. You're right. We were down on pretty low health. We got attacked for 5-3-4. Yeah. So turn one's the hard turn, huh? And this is okay. I'm not gonna go into to what's it called. This is like the cameo rant, but it's like some games only have turn one. Making turn one worse is not a thing that I'm excited to do. Hey, we did it. We ripped it again. We have been dancing a bit too close to the sun here, but we have another chance of doing 3 damage to ourselves. Wasp, I mean, it's damage. It's a chump block. For 1 energy, we can get so much worse than that. That's still in the maybe camp, but like having a chump block seems to be pretty important in this scenario. We don't keep that. This, again, with Energy Siphon, we can knock out a villain on turn 1. Sunglasses is a maybe camp. It's not that good. I don't know. This card seemed like it would be way more flexible, but you're not actually that good at jumping up and down. And then finally, we have the Helicarrier, which is probably a keep. So my guess is that we keep these 4. We can cheat out the Helicarrier on turn 1 for 2 resources, or we can send the Ionic Blast, so it's a flexible opening. If we draw a double, Helicarrier will be playable. If we don't play it, we don't play it. Defiance, that's the sort of card we wanted during the villain phase, because it would actually cancel 5 damage and heal this one, because we drew a double boost card. And then we have a Starstruck, which technically you can actually play this on turn 1. Ideally, you don't, because if the villain doesn't attack you, you don't take damage. But we actually have the line to like take damage on our own, because stunning the villain means the villain won't attack, and if the villain doesn't attack, you don't take health, and if you don't take health damage, you don't do the thing. I love the sunglasses. I don't get it. It's like it takes so long. Like, how many turns before this actually has active text? In theory, it has text on turn 1 to tuck a card underneath you, but spending 2 resources to tuck a card underneath us isn't super impactful when that card doesn't heal, let alone this is the card. I think I love the sunglasses in a deck where we can flip up and down like every turn, like a protection ready for fight deck. That gives you a lot of control. I think I would like it a lot in this. My guess is in this deck, it doesn't feel great. Okay, this opening is actually very interesting. We could spend 2 damage playing Helicarrier. We could do... Helicarrier doesn't work with Wasp well, which sucks. We could do... Yeah, actually, it's not great. Increase damage for Starstruck? I mean, there's a chance that's right? Like, doing this is fun. We can knock out Hobgoblin, because this does a perfect Starstruck, right? Sorry, not Starstruck. This does a perfect Ionic Blast. So we waste 1 damage, but we can take 3 to knock out Hobgoblin and then immediately heal 1. That leaves us with this hand. With this hand, we could like just play Helicarrier pass. In theory, then Helicarrier can play Ionic Blast cheaper, and then we don't play Wasp. I think I need to play Wasp this turn, because I want to say that we had to have learned something from the last time that we played this, which was only a minute ago. Because I think we need a chump blocker for Wasp. So for Wasp, we just need 1 actual resource. Helicarrier is good, though. I think Electro is like the one that we don't want to get attacked. I'm going to do this. It's greedy. It sucks to throw out a Wasp, but I'm going to try this play. It's kind of silly, but I'm going to do it. So do 1, 2, 3 for Helicarrier. So now we can reduce the cost of the next card anybody plays. It'll be us. We'll reduce the cost of the next card. We'll flip up. We'll play Energy Siphon. Sorry, we'll Helicarrier to play Ionic Blast. We'll do Energy Siphon. So currently we're doing 3 damage. If we wanted to do 9 damage, we have to do 3, 4, 5. Take a damage, 6, 7, take a damage, 8, 9. So we'll take 2 damage. This does 9 damage Ionic Blast. That knocks out Hobgoblin. When Hobgoblin's knocked out, we remove 4 threat from this, and then we can put this underneath us, recovering 1. We're going to do the same thing here, I'm pretty sure, where we're just going to thwart 2 off of this, because I don't think we're rushing the 2 damage, and we'll keep this underneath us. And that's all she wrote. We'll pass. I like the sunglasses that say you can tuck a resource card. What? Wait, what's that? They resource reserve? Resource reserve. I don't like this card at all. In solo, I don't think. I don't know. Generally, like what's the word I'm looking for? The thing that I would recommend for people to play Marvel Champions is just dump your hand. There are exceedingly few cases where saving a resource for another turn is worth it at the cost of what this turn is. Because if you can survive this turn, I don't know. It doesn't line up to me. I don't like this card much. Enraged, okay, not useful. This is the one weird dead combo card in our deck. Aggressive Conditioning, we could maybe play that for some healing. Defiance is perfect, so we technically can make sure Electro doesn't do his text. Quinn Carrier, we could probably play. It's the greedy line this turn, and we have a Unified Strike. So unfortunately, we're drawing a lot of dud hands. Last game, we like opened with 2-Gun Kid immediately, and that's something we should keep in mind. We might want to mulligan aggressively for an ally, because we have so many cards. I think we have 7 cards in our deck. About a quarter of our deck only interacts with allies. So that's kind of on us. We definitely could be keeping that in mind when we're playing. A Sinister synchronization goes to 1, and Electro is going to try and attack us here. So here, if Electro does damage to us, we have to discard 7 from the top of our deck. It's not the worst thing. If we played Defiance, we know it's going to be guaranteed only 2 damage, and we get to heal 1. Sorry, 1 damage, and we can heal 1, so we can exhaust there. Our activation doesn't seem super important. With this hand, we can just like play Quinn Carrier pass, which is not amazing, but we'll be at full health, which is both a boon and a curse. So I guess the question is, like, we still play Defiance, I think, no matter what. Because even if we don't play this hand, like, we can't do much with this hand. We could decide not to play Quinn Carrier and instead play Aggressive Conditioning, which honestly, that might be better. I do think Quinn Carrier is better for this deck than Helicarrier, but Aggressive Conditioning gives us 3 more health, which we want, 1 more attack, which we want. So that's another line. Yeah, that might be fine too. I think we have enough resources already with the Helicarrier and the belt coming up that we could just like Defiance. It's just like, this is not a good turn. We have to hope that we don't get like boost surged on maxed. So Electro is attacking for 1 in a card. I could see us defending here, so we don't do the text, which we said is not bad text. We should just do the text. We'll be ready. Are we going to thwart 2? No. Are we going to attack 4? No. Yeah, it's not an important hand to be ready for, so we will exhaust here while we can. So Electro's attacking. We'll play Defiance here. One of my favorite cards. 0 cost defense cards are sick. So when a boost card on an enemy attacking you will be turn face up, discard it. So Electro's attacking for 1. We did cancel 3 damage on the under fire, so this actually was very good. This was a 4 value card. We tuck it, we recover 1. Electro's text doesn't fire. That's great. So nothing happens there. And we can't move the counter to another villain because there's no more villains. All right, so this one is annoying. This is Brute Force Barricade, so there's something we would have done this turn. Speaking of that card, so this comes in with 9 threat and has victory 1. Threat cannot be removed from other side schemes. So right now this is fine. It just stops us from dealing with light at the end. If we defeat Electro, we can remove 7 from this. However, the problem is there's a whole bunch of side schemes in this scenario that say like +1 hazard icon for every villain in play or every enemy in play. And having to clear this before you can clear that is like a disaster. So we drew this at a good time as much as we are exhausted, and it's now our turn. Tugan Kid is so handsome. He's in every aggression deck I make now. Also, hello. He's very good. He's very, very good. And he's kind of like a fun build around, which I think aggression needed a couple more of those. I don't think any of these cards in our hand we keep. So I think we just waste the Helicarrier. So we'll spend 3 and we'll play Aggressive Conditioning. So health goes up 3. Attack goes up 1. You know how it goes. And then we'll just pass. Super simple turn. Draw up. Ooh, do we jump down? This will go to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could jump down. It's a bit risky. We have all our active altruisms in the deck. But Electro could scheme for worst case. This goes to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This might be a safe jump down angle. We could regret this. If we did a surge into an activation, we're cooked. But I think we're going to push our luck a bit. Starstruck. Nice. That's a stun. We do like those. We're going to draw 6 here. Wonder Fans. Good to be an alter ego to have that. Stronger Together is useless. We need an ally. Mr. Hollywood's perfect. Nick Fury is the ally, but not that's perfect. And Starstruck is good. So we can play a lot of this hand. Should be kind of good for us. Nick Fury is also a nice blocker because it turns off all of their texts. This goes to 2. Villain, which is Electro. I have to look it up every time. Now schemes for 1, 2, 3, 4 on pacifism. So this goes to 6 of 8. Now they don't have text. It's only when they attack. And then we draw a surprise. So could be bad for us. In expert mode, this card gets surge, can't be canceled. Resolve the ambush ability on the main scheme. So we're going to get another villain. So 1 to 6, you know the play? 6, it's Vulture. So only 7 health on Vulture. And we do move this over here. So Vulture doesn't have a big scheme, but just about no matter what, we're cooked here if this is an activation. It's not. Take 1 for the team. There's some really interesting attachments here. Some of them don't have discarding clauses, so you have to defeat the person attached to it, which means Sunfire is a bit worse. Attach the villain with the highest attack. It has to be Vulture. If you cannot resolve the ambush, you cannot attack villains who do not have the attached copy of Take 1 for the team. That seems acceptable. Okay, so obviously slots are hard, but we'll just do something like this. And it's back to us. So we should have a lot to do this turn. We definitely want to take some damage somehow, which is actually kind of tricky. This is when you're full, you can't tuck cards underneath you. So we definitely don't need to play 1. These cards are worth playing. So we could do 1, 2, 3, 4 for Helicarrier. The stun on Starstruck is not particularly useful when we can't tuck it, but more importantly, when we already are at, we already have Nick Fury. So I think we're just going to start here in Alter Ego, Helicarrier, Starstruck, Stronger Together. We'll play Nick and draw 3 cards. We should find some active altruisms as much as we can tuck them. We'll go. First, active altruism. There you go. The Jet Belt and 2 Gun Kid. Oh my God, we drew too many important cards in this hand. Because every card here is like worth playing by a long shot, by long something. There's an expression here somewhere. That sucks. Okay. So we have to play 2 Gun Kid. That being said, we can wait for our side scheme and then bring 2 Gun Kid back in a second. So it's not the most important, but we want to have an ally on the table because we have so many cards that care about it. Jet Belt is just a research generator. I'm not actually too hot on this one. It's a research generator. It's good. It's fine. Better for events, but still getting cards underneath you is worth something when you're technically locked down and can't get cards out from you. Mr. Hollywood is like our best card here. So Wonder Fans, I sleep. So we could do Wonder Fans into Hollywood. Then we could do Active Altruism clears 1, 2, 3 off of Brute Force. That's fine. But then we can't play this card. So can we generate a resource somehow? If we do Jet Belt into Wonder Fans could draw a card. That card could play Hollywood, and then we could 2 Gun Kid for some energy. This card we should know. Yeah, that might be it. It's like silly not to play 2 Gun Kid here because the text is really good. But I think we're just going to draw into that side scheme that brings him back because I think these other cards are too good. Mr. Hollywood is too good not to play. I think Mr. Hollywood is way too good not to play. So in theory, we could like, yeah, we can't play both of them because this cost, 5 cards, 6 cards. So I think we have to get rid of 2 Gun Kid and hope that he comes back. Sucks, but I don't think we have a way around it. I think we definitely want to clear this while we can, or we're knock out Vulture. And I think we might have the ability to do one of those. So we will flip up. Oh, actually, hold on. We might not flip up because we might do Wonder Fans. So we want to keep energy icons in hand. If we draw a double, it'll allow us to play one of these cards. So we want to play around drawing a double here because we have all our doubles still in our deck and an energy siphon. So if we play 2 Gun Kid for Wonder Fans and Wonder Fans draws, if that's a double, it opens up a play pattern. So I think we'll start there. Bye 2 Gun Kid. In the 2 Gun Kid deck, he's gone. We're going to play Wonder Fans here to draw a card. We also going to use this to get one more attack. Technically, we're at 1. Oh, this should be a 4. I'm very bad at keeping track of that. I think we'll just use Wonder Fans to draw. Please be a double. It's a Unified Strike. At least that's an energy icon. That's fine. We'll flip up. There's a chance that this turn is not being done the optimal way. Okay, so we're going to do Jet Belt for Mr. Hollywood. And then we're just going to do Active Altruism, which will remove 1 threat. We can't tuck it because we're at full health. We can't fix that. We want to take a hit from Vulture. So we're sweating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll just remove 5 threat from this. Oh, actually, no, we'll remove 5 threat from this. I forgot that got out of control. Cards underneath us don't seem super valuable here, so we get attack for 4, 5, 6. We're 1 damage short. We can't tuck this. That was the issue. So in theory, we could have done Mr. Wonder Fans to tuck a card underneath us. And it actually would have worked out to be fine, but we could have drawn a double that would have changed our turn. But that actually means we'd been on 5, 6, 7, which would have knocked out a Vulture, which that honestly might have been the play pattern. I'm realizing in hindsight, because the chance of drawing a double is like 4 in however big this deck is. It's like not worth playing ground, I don't think. But sometimes on Expert, you just have to kind of shoot the moon and hope for the best. So we'll attack for 2. We want to keep track of all copies of our 3 Starstrucker outs, and we have none of the big damage cards. I thought we played one on turn 1. Wait, did we play a Starstruck thinking it was the one that did Ionic? Oh no, we tucked it. Never mind. So we have 1 more Ionic Blast, which is worth playing around. That will one-shot Electro. And I think here we have no big reason to have big stats underneath us, so we'll attack for 4 into Vulture. Maybe 1's like not a good break point, but we'll clear this. And we'll pass. Draw 5. 1. There we go. That's nice. We want to take some damage here, which is unfortunate that Nick Fury is our blocker. We have the Genius that we're looking for. Ionic Blast that could knock out Electro. We have some energy icons. Winter Soldier actually can fire off a Vulture, which is sick. And then we have a Professor X, which could let us jump down if we wanted to. So we have some flexible options in this hand. We did throw out 2 resource generators, and we're kind of feeling it here because our deck is greedy on resources. We'll see if it catches up to us. This goes to 2. 1 health Vulture does attack us for 2 and a card. We're going to block with Nick Fury, which turns off his text. And again, the ruling that I don't fully understand is that if that first part of the text doesn't fire, the active counter doesn't move because apparently they're attached to each other. I don't know. Make it make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a Partnership of Pain. That's one of the most important cards because it's the one that adds stats to stats. That knocks out Nick, and because we did not take damage, we don't move the counter, let alone do the text. Haunting Presence. Wait, can we get locked out of this? Attach to the villain with the most remaining hit points. If you cannot, resolve the ambush. Threat cannot be removed from light at the end. Okay, cool. So we can attack Electro. Wait, this is really bad. We can attack Electro, but we cannot remove threat from this. That's fine, because we already cannot remove threat from this while this is here. So if we defeat Vulture, this will go over here and we'll remove 4 threat from Brute Force Barricade, which is like totally acceptable. Okay, it's back to us. If we want to do Genius Helicarrier for Winter Soldier, Winter Soldier can defeat Vulture, and we can remove 6 threat from Brute Force Barricade, which is kind of cute. That will drop this down to 3. Active Altruism clears it for free. We are still at full health, which is unfortunate. And then we have just an Ionic Blast that does 5 damage. I mean, that's probably fine. We just can't tuck cards because we haven't got hurt, but that's kind of on us. Electro will probably change that. We'll discard 7 cards from our deck and draw another encounter card. That's fine. I think that's fine. I think that's probably what we do here. I don't see a better line because I don't think we need to confuse jump down. I think we just need to get allies on the table. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. It's Bucky. Bucky's going to go for the attack, take the consequential. After Winter Soldier attacks and defeats an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme. This is the only scheme we can touch here. We could do the main scheme actually. No, because we can clear this turn. And we defeat Vulture. When Vulture's defeated, you move this counter. And Vulture's gone. Okay, when Vulture's defeated, because he's not the only on the table, we can remove 4 threat from this. So this goes down to 3. All right, nice. We'll then play Active Altruism here. Otherwise, we could do... Can we knock out Electro here? I feel like it's not amazing to knock out Electro. This text technically is still... Like, the ordering here is actually really important. And I'm pretty sure if we defeat Electro, this text is still online. So if we defeat Electro, we can't use Electro's text to remove the threat from this. I think that's the, like, I don't know if that was the way the designers intended, but I think from the rules is that when Taunting Presence is attached to Electro and we defeat Electro, we still can't clear from this because it's here when it's been defeated. Problem was you said you wanted to take damage, otherwise you would have gotten another activation from your encounter card. Yeah, sometimes we have to just let it see us out. Now, if we don't want to play Active Altruism, we can just do... No, we're short of resource. I can't count to 3. So I think we do Ionic Altruism and Ionic Blast. So fortunately, no tucking, but Active Altruism will do 1. We'll overpay for 3. We'll clear Brute Force Barricade. So now we can remove threat from other side schemes. This still says we can't do this. This is victory. Then we'll do Professor X for Ionic Blast. This does 3 damage. Hollywood makes it 5 damage. Electro is hurt. Unfortunately, we're 1 damage short, but that's perfect for Winter Soldier next turn. We're just going to thwart for 2 off of this. Having a blank text box does not feel good. We have to take damage here. We'll pass. So far, so good. Feeling okay. We draw 5. Energy's nice. Defiance we can play to make sure that we don't have to discard 7 as much as we can't tuck it. Sunfire and Psylocke. I think I want to play Psylocke this turn just so we can confuse and jump down. And then our 5th card is War Room, which is like probably shouldn't be in this deck. Particularly in this scenario, there's not that many things. As much as we are going to defeat Electro this turn. This is the cutest card in the deck. Shouldn't be in there. Just play a generically good card. You'll probably be better off. Ooh, Bone Cold. Okay, this goes to 1. Electro's going to attack us. Electro is attacking us for 1 in a card. If we take any damage from this, we have to discard the top 7. If we discard the top 7, we draw another encounter card. I'm going to look at these cards. Do we want these cards? Yes, there's an Energy Siphon. Yes, there's a Strength. But like this will be our hand next turn, and this hand doesn't do much. So I think we're legally allowed to discard 7 here. I think we do discard 7 here. Because actually shuffling our deck, like looking at our hand too, this will miss the cycle. But that's not that bad. But like this is not a good hand. Like the best thing we can do with this hand is play What Are You and play an Active Altruism that bursts a lot of threat. Like that's okay. But drawing the extra counter here seems fine, he says, and then surges into 17 cards. So I think we're not going to shuffle this because Electro is going to rip through it, but I don't think we're going to play Defiance here. I think we're just going to keep all our cards in hand. So Electro's attacking for 1. No boost. I mean, can't ask for better, I guess. We take exactly 1 damage, which means Electro's text fires here. So firstly, we can now tuck 1 card, but now we have to remove 7 cards from our deck. So we can only do 6. You don't keep discarding. So we get an encounter card and we shuffle our deck. I'll shuffle that in a second. In the meantime, let's see what this holds for us. Okay, more damage, more discarding random cards. This one we could consider defiancing, and it actually gives us value. That's a really nice interaction here. Because Electro is now going to attack for 1. We, in theory, could block and tuck a card underneath us. Let's just see if our hand supports that play pattern. There's sometimes getting cards in your discard pile is really good when you have like your Sunfire, your not Sunfire glasses, your Wonder Man sunglasses. Just because now you can toolbox the cards underneath you. I guess technically Wonder Fans does that too. Okay, so we're getting attacked. If we want to look at our hand, we can Defiance and put it underneath us. We'll take 1 damage from Electro, which forces us to discard the next 7 cards, which is not super impactful. With this hand, we can still do 1, 2, 3, 4, play Psylocke. And then we'd like play the War Room, I guess. 1, 2, no, we would be stuck with a card. So this Defiance is worth 1 healing plus an unknown amount of damage. The other option is just take the Electro damage and not block. I think that's probably better. It puts us at 3 attack. Technically, we need to do sun damage to Electro because Winter Soldier won't do it. So I think we have to just take this attack. And then we have no reason to buff our stat higher than that. So I think we just take this attack because it means we can play Psylocke War Room. And War Room will technically trigger this turn. Yeah, this seems fine. So Electro's attacking. So attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would have been a big Defiance. So we take 4 damage. And then we have to do Electro's text. So we discard the top 7 cards of our deck. We get rid of an Energy Siphon. Feels bad. 2-Gun Kid feels really bad. Oh no. I'm realizing we should have drawn it by now. I'm just going to shuffle this into the deck now. In theory, it would have been discarded at the bottom 7, we can imagine, but I'm realizing that wasn't in the deck, so let me fix that. We forgot to put Evaluate Threat back in, which is like the card that we're trying to get 2-Gun Kid in, and then I realized we didn't draw it. So let's just say it was in the bottom 7 and we would have discarded it anyways, so we'll reset the discard. It wanted to include Mysterio in this scenario, but they couldn't add a 7th villain, so they just added Surge to everything. It feels like he's been here the whole time. I mean, the Sinister 7 is not a thing. I know the Sinister 6 has different... My Sinister 6 that I knew growing up was these, but Hobgoblin would have been Mysterio. I know very little about Hobgoblin. The 6 I grew up with was Ock, Electro, Mysterio, Kraven, Scorpion, Vulture. Sometimes Shocker instead of one of these, I think. Maybe Kraven? All right, let's rip 7. Ionic Blast, Unified, fine. Stronger Together, fine. Stronger Together, fine. Surprisingly fine, so that's 4, 5. Prof, Defiance. I mean, a lot of those are situational if we don't have 2-Gun Kids, so that's not the worst. Okay, second encounter card. Team Leader. Attach to the villain with the lowest activation order if you cannot remove the ambush. So this sucks, because now when we defeat Electro, we can't remove any threat. Because in theory, when we defeat Electro here, if I'm not mistaken, we should have been able to remove 7 threat from a side scheme. But because these attachments are technically still attached to Electro when Electro is defeated, we can't do the when defeated clause. This says we cannot remove threat from light at the end. This says we cannot remove threat from the main scheme. Now, I don't know the order that this fires. This gets like way above my pay grade. But I'm pretty sure now Winter Soldier's text is blank. I'm pretty sure War Room is now blank. Because I think these attachments are still in play when Electro is defeated. I don't know who Chameleon is. Rhino I would have imagined too, but I'm not actually sure. I know what Chameleon is, but I did not know what Chameleon is as a kid. Man, these attachments firing in the wrong order is like really unfortunate. I wish they had like an interrupt discard these or something, but they don't. So yeah, we're just going to defeat Electro for no reason. Which means maybe we don't defeat Electro, let's be honest. Maybe we just jump down and confuse. We have to defeat Electro. The issue is like we can't jump down this turn. Because if we jump down, we won't have someone confused, because Psylocke won't have anyone to target. Because if we defeat Electro, there'll just be no villains, and then Sinister Synchronization will ambush a villain in, and that villain will activate. So it's not great. We can't remove these attachments because Sunfire's text doesn't work. So honestly, like stinky turn. I think we just knock out Electro and don't jump down, and we just set up Psylocke. So we'll attack for 2. We'll attack with Winter Soldier, who doesn't have text. Super frustrating. Could we play an event there? I guess we could have played Defiance there and knocked out for 3. That would have been better. But we drew this. This stopped us from clearing that. It actually probably was right to play Defiance because it heals 4, technically, and it means we'd be at a 3 attack to knock out Electro. Yeah, that actually was better. Yeah, that's a bummer. So Winter Soldier attacked for 2. We can't fire Winter Soldier's text because these things prevent that from happening. But we do knock out Electro, and for a minute here, we have no body to deal with. Unfortunately, all the text is blank. I don't love that interaction. Then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 for Psylocke. Betsy's here. Is it Betsy? Not Betty. Yeah, it's Betsy. 3 health. She comes in with 2 psionic counters, and she can do a confuse as much as there's nobody to attack here. We're technically allowed to thwart with her. There's not a lot of thwarting to be done. Speaking of not a lot about thwarting to be done, I'll just play the War Room. Great. So we have that. This can remove a threat when we defeat a thing, which is not a huge thing in this scenario. And I think we just like straight pass. We could jump down and hope that it's a villain like Scorpion who doesn't scheme a lot, but I think we have to just stay here and stand our ground. We'll draw 6. Chameleon turns into anyone, basically Mistake. Yeah. I have Chameleon in Marvel Snap, which is why I know a bit of what the card can do. Or the character can do, excuse me. Nick, active altruism is good. Energy Siphon for Nick is perfect. There's the Evaluate Threat, which can set up the 2-gun kid. And then we have the What Are You, which is like maybe worth playing. We've kind of realized on harder difficulties, you can't just die out of nowhere. Now, Sinister Synchronization. Sinister will now have text because we have nobody in play. So now it's ambush and we put 2 threat here. So whoever we pull in is going to activate against us. Make your bets. I think the worst case would be Scorpion, I think. As much as we could block with Winter Soldier if we want to. It's Dr. Octopus, who has very fittingly 8 health. Love that they thought that through. So I'm going to do in 4 and 4 because it's funny. So Doc Ock is now attacking for 2 and a card. And it says after Dr. Octopus attacks and damages you, place 1 threat on each scheme. This one is worth blocking. So we are already damaged, so we don't have to take more damage. We'll block with Winter Soldier, who's done enough. So 1, 2, 3. Boost on Hidden in the Shadow. Says deal 1 indirect damage to each player. In expert mode, deal 1 additional indirect damage. So we have to take 2 indirect damage. We'll just take it to the face and not worry about it. If we defeated Winter Soldier, the attack would be unblocked to us, and then we have to do Dr. Octopus's text. So defeated. We don't do Dr. Octopus's other text because it did not damage us. Counter card from every direction. This one has Surge. This is a card that you lose to if you don't keep the table down, especially because this has Surge and Expert. So it says place 1 threat on the main scheme for each enemy in play. This can add 6 threat and Surge, which is absurd. It's good to know where those are. Oh, actually, can't be upset about that. That's a great time to draw that. So 4 threat, Surge. And got these in the good order. Imagine you got these in the other order. This card gains Insight 1. There's so much Surge and Expert. Put the set aside Electro and Craven Hunter into play. If Electro's in play, do a bad thing. If Craven's in play, do a bad thing. This does not move. I mean, yikes. Never a moment to breathe, let alone on Expert difficulty. So this stays. We know Electro, who wants to discard cards from our deck. Craven eats our upgrades, which is not great. So Craven the Hunter is here. 9 health is one of the bigger ones. And after he attacks and damages, discard an upgrade or support. Very good that we drew those in that sort of order because these would add 3 threat Surge, which is bad. I think there's only 2 of them in the deck. There might be 3. It's back to us. We have a lot of work to do. Active Altruism now is probably going to be used for Sinister Synchronization, let's be honest, but I think we're going to start here by just doing Energy Siphon. We can decide to take 4 damage or we can decide to take less damage. It adds more cards in hand. More cards in hand is actually worth it because Active Altruism has text. So I think we're going to do Energy Siphon and take 3. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to shoot the moon again. So we'll take 3 damage to play Nick Fury for free, and then we'll draw 4 cards. 3 cards, excuse me. Starstruck, we can get a stun and a confuse. Ionic Blast is big damage, and a strength actually really good. Okay, now jumping down is actually kind of bad on this turn, so we might not jump down this turn, I'm realizing, because playing Nick Fury and jumping down is a bad combo, because you can always block with Nick. Our priority here is to blow up as many people as we can, because if they're not on the table, all the cards are not that bad for us. So seems like this is going to be maybe we don't need the stun because of Nick Fury. So it seems like we probably want to do a big old Ionic Blast for as much damage as we can. Unfortunately, our hand has not that many energy resources. We want to play Active Altruism because it's 3 threat and a heal. So that's going to be played for sure. Then we can do Ionic Blast. We can go up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we can just like play Evaluate Threat. It turns out with this hand, we took one too many damage for Nick because we're wasting the resource. In theory, we could not waste the resource by clearing Evaluate Threat with Psylocke or Nick and then grabbing Two Gun Kid and playing it. That might be better because Evaluate Threat allows us to go grab a card. That is one of our traits. Two Gun Kid is in our discard pile, I think. No, still in the deck, but we definitely want to get Two Gun Kid because Two Gun Kid seems like the boss in this scenario. We're playing Mojo recently and there was an encounter card with Hinder 10. I think I know that one. It's the Paparazzi one. Hinder 10, yes. Yeah, very funny. It's not 10 per player. It's just Hinder 10. Paparazzi is also a fun Netrunner card back in the day. So I remember that one pretty well. All right, so our damage. If we want to do the Evaluate Threat first, I don't think it matters. I think this is where Wonderman is cool, where like planning your turns is actually quite important in the right order. So I think we're going to make sure we can Ionic Blast someone into Oblivion. So we're going to generate one resource for Ionic Blast. It's doing 5 damage because of Mr. Hollywood. So with Nick, that's 7 damage. So I think we'll just juice it 9 damage. With 9 damage, we can play Strength into What Are You, which is like, maybe we'll see what that card does. And then we can just play Active Altruism or just play Evaluate Threat. 9 damage. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With Nick, it's 9. With Nick, it's 9 is good enough. We might just float a resource here, or we might do this into Evaluate Threat into play into active. Yeah, that's better. We'll get our Two Gun Kid this turn. So Ionic Blast, Helicarrier, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Doesn't matter who we hit. So I think we want to hit whoever we think is the scariest. It might just be Dr. Octopus, but technically we can do 9 damage this turn. So I think we'll knock out Craven. So Craven goes down to 2. We tuck the blast till recovering 1. Okay. Now we'll use Nick Fury. Nick Fury will attack for 2, which knocks out Craven. So we get to do Craven's text. So Craven removes 4 threat from a side scheme. And we can do War Room, which is cool because we put this in our deck for some reason. We can remove 1 threat from a scheme. We'll just keep this in check. I haven't seen any advances yet. So at any point that could advance, and it's not good if it does, but we've seen, yeah, no advances. So we need to make sure this is like much lower than where it is right now. Okay. If that's the case, we'll do Active Altruism on it. So Active Altruism just does 3 threat without boosting, recover 1. Then I think we do, the order here doesn't matter. So we'll play What Are You for Evaluate Threat, and then we're immediately going to clear it ourselves. So we're just going to thwart for 2 off of it. When this is cleared, we remove it from the game. You need to remember that. We can search for an Avenger or Shield card. We could get the Quinn Carrier. I'm just going to get Two Gun Kid and play Two Gun Kid really cheap here. So we have Two Gun Kid in play. I'm going to try not to use Two Gun Kid here because Two Gun Kid's only going to get better. Because once we start using our cards that boost the stats, Two Gun Kid should be on every turn and attack for 8 on 2 different characters, which like keeping 2 gun characters into play is not exactly what you want to do here, but it will line up pretty well. This is at 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to do better with that. All right, we use just about every card we have. We don't have a Psylocke play here. Dr. Octopus won't fire. This is where it's like hard to use Psylocke aggressively, because if we attack here for 2 with Psylocke and then this moves here, I guess then we'll just attack Electro for 2. So we're going to use Psylocke in case this stays here. So she'll attack for 2 and get a confuse. This also means that we beat advance if it doesn't move off Dr. Octopus, which is a nice place to be. I just did villain 2. I'm so used to that. That's not a real thing here. We'll just do this, bringing down to 6. But I did the way that we usually do with the electronic way, and then we'll pass. Really good turn there. 7 health is a bit sketch, but we have a lot of allies now, so we'll be fine. Genius. Unified Strike, that's what we want. Let's see if we can get an Enraged or something. Starstruck for a stun if we need it. Signature Sunglasses might actually help because we can jump down, and then we jump back up. We can get the Ionic Blast. That seems good. And then we have an Active Altruism, so we're in a good spot, actually. I think we're doing well. This goes to 2. Doc Ock attacks. His text doesn't really matter because we're going to block with Nick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's some huge boosts in this scenario. That's a 5 boost. And because he did not damage us, his text is not relevant. Encounter card. Ha ha ha. Oh, he's coming for us. There's an assault. So this assault matters in a couple ways. Firstly, we're getting attacked, and this can add 2 threat, which is bad. If we don't take any damage here, which we don't have what's it called, Defiance in our hand, so we're not guaranteed. We don't add threat, and this doesn't move. If this doesn't move, the confuse is locked in. If we block with Psylocke, like we're in a bad spot. At most, this can be 5 damage, which I honestly think we might have to tank it and then just like confuse Electro. There's a chance this could be lethal because if we draw the card with 2 boosts and then boost says draw another card, we could die to that in theory. Like that's just bad. We can't do much about it. But I don't think we're allowed to block with Psylocke. I don't think we're allowed to block with Two Gun Kid. So we could block ourselves. Blocking ourselves is okay because I think we'll just do Active Altruism Starstruck. I think we'll defend 2 and just hope that this is a 0 boost, which like if it's an advance, we're kind of gaming here, but I think we'll block 2. If we don't block 2 though, we can just like recover 3, which is technically better. And I think we'll jump down, recover 3. Yeah, I don't think we block here because the chance of this being a 0 boost is so low. So 1, 2, 3 has a boost, coordinate effort. Place 1 threat on each scheme in expert mode, place 1 additional threat on the main scheme. Ugh. So this goes to 5, this goes to 4. We take 3 damage. And then we have to do Dr. Octopus's text, which says, and this is why expert's so much worse, place 1 threat on each scheme. So this goes up to 6, and this goes up to 5, and we slide this over. All right, it's back to us. So this is us. If we get our attack up, we can jump down. We can knock out Electro here. If we knock out Electro, we don't need to use the Psylocke Confuse. David, how's it going? Glad to catch you on stream. Welcome. We're having a good time with Wonder Man. It's actually kind of going well. Surprisingly well. How are you doing? How's your Sunday? I don't know if you rolled back the clock or not. But welcome to the stream. So we want to be ready for Unified Strike. That was actually the better interaction point on last turn, is being ready for this. So that's good, because now Two Gun Kid can attack for an absurd amount. So I'm glad that we did that in the right order. So I think here we start with Active Altruism. We have to do some math whether we have extra cards in hand to spend to this. There's a chance we can spend Starstruck. This does 1, 2, 3 on its own. This does 3 on its own. We're going to waste some healing, but then we're going to be at 5. Two Gun Kid is attacked for 7, 7, which is so good. Oh my God, is that good? So if we attack 7, 7, we remove 1 more threat. We remove 4 threat from this. It leaves us with this hand. We can play the Sunglasses, jump down. The Sunglasses don't really matter. And then we have the Starstruck. So we could probably just like Quinn Carrier Starstruck. We'd need energy icons in our hand. We don't have them. This is the first time not having enough energy icons we've actually felt. But like stunning Electro is probably worth it this turn. We can draw a card and just keep these and hope that we draw into something expensive. I think that's probably better, that we just keep these cards. Actually, no, we could probably just do Starstruck here and go 3 for 5 and clear all of it. Doesn't the activation token move even if you don't take damage? I thought so, but it doesn't. This is the thing that I've been told in comments, and I don't totally get it, but this is what the ruling has been from the designers. The forced response is 1 block. So apparently the second sentence, even though it's not connected with the connection word, are the same clause. So this technically should read, after Electro attacks and damages you, discard the top 7 cards of your deck. If you did, move the active counter onto the next villain in the activation order. That is super unintuitive to me, but I've been corrected multiple times on stream before that that's technically how this should work. I don't fully understand why. You could play it either way. One way makes it less interesting if you're a perfect block deck, or more interesting, I guess, based off of what side you're on. But yeah, apparently it only moves if the first text fires. So kind of strange. Yeah, the four horsemen move no matter what, which is fine. As long as they're attacking. I don't think it's on activation, which means they move a bunch of times also during the encounter cards, which is kind of fun. Yeah, these guys don't. I don't know why. It's because, oh, if they didn't do damage, they just keep hitting you. In theory, if like Electro attacks and it doesn't work, the next person should go. I always had that doubt. I think I played wrong many times in the scenario. I have played the majority of my ways wrong until I played this in a video last year, and then people corrected me, and then so far. But I've played most of my games wrong. I still had a good time. I don't care. I guess we'll play it. And I think we will dunk into this because our hand's not that useful. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 because of Hollywood, and we'll do 4, 5 with Starstruck. So we'll clear this entirely. We'll tuck this, recover 1, go up to 5 attack. Now we're going to do the cool thing. Two Gun Kid is going to attack for 2 damage to 2 characters, but we're going to play Unified Strike, which we can't tuck it, but it's fine. In theory, we could choose to tuck. No, we need the breakpoint. So when an ally uses the basic power, exhaust your hero, add your hero's matching power to the ally's power. The ally does not take consequential. So Two Gun Kid is attacking for 7 into 7, which is so damn good. That knocks out Dr. Octopus, who has 6, and then 8 goes down to 1. And then we have a couple triggers here. Firstly, we lose the confuse, but we needed the damage, so that's fine. But the cool thing now is Dr. Octopus is defeated, so we're going to move 4 threat from here. And technically, this is why we played War Room. We can use War Room, which says after an ally defeats somebody, remove 1 threat. Nice. And this is not, oh, it's a minion. Why is War Room in this deck? Never mind. We probably fired War Room once incorrectly. We actually did for sure. So the threat should have been on there. We would have cleared it with War Room. This card should not be in the deck. I realize it's only minions. Whatever. We can't have our fun. We're in the same problem where if we attack with Psylocke, we defeat Electro. And if we defeat Electro, we don't have the confused status to safely jump down. That's not good. That's the second time this has happened. Yikes. Don't love that. Do not like that for us. And we have all these cards which really incentivize us to jump down. This was genuinely too much damage. It was probably too much damage. Warhorse do move every time, but only do their fun stuff if they attack. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the text. Okay, I think we're just going to take the threat. This should go to 1. We still haven't seen an advance yet. We're going to lose to the advance. There is a couple cards left. Yeah, there's 2 advances left in the deck still. Is one of these cards upside down? Yes. So that will be bad if it shows up. Not much we can do about it. But yeah, there's 2 advances still in the deck. So I think we can take a risk here. I think jumping down makes sense. We definitely need to recover. Technically recovering on the turn that we have 3 cards stuck underneath us isn't good. But if we draw another Unified Strike, we actually can't recover next turn anyways. Like recovering is kind of difficult. I don't think you play Jarvis because that's the same issue, but recovering is a bit tricky here. Because your ready is actually so important when you're playing a Unified Strike deck. We could use Signature Sunglasses to go grab a Unified Strike back. That's actually really good. That's actually really good. But I think we just want to draw to see if we can draw a Quinn Carrier or something. I guess we can't play it if we're in Alter Ego. Ugly. Maybe we use Psylocke and Chump Block with Psylocke. Maybe we do that. I don't know. I think we have to recover. This is going to cost us the game if we do it wrong. But I think we have to jump down. So we'll jump down. We're not going to play the Sunglasses first because I don't think it's actually that important. Because I'd rather be able to do this first and draw a card with Wonder Fans and see if that card is worth playing. It's a Starstruck. Okay, it wasn't. So now we're wasting resources. We'll do Starstruck gives us a stun, which is pretty good when we jump up. That's not super important. So we'll do Genius for the Signature Sunglasses. So now when we jump up, we can go get a card underneath us, which means we can grab an Ionic Blast to knock somebody out. If that's the case, I think we'll just knock out Electro. Technically, Electro schemes for 2, which is the average result. But if we knock out Electro, maybe it'll be Scorpion, and that would be kind of hype. So I think we just will use Psylocke to do some damage here. Yeah, it's fine. So she'll just attack for 1. We won't use her text. And so she knocks out Electro. That means because Electro is the only character on the table, we can remove 7 threat instead of 4. So this loses 7 as much as it'll get 2 back in a second. And there is no active villain. We'll pass. Holding onto Starstruck can stun us, but if we jump up, we can grab an Ionic Blast, and there might not be more than 1 villain, so I won't hold on to that. Yeah, that'll be it. Cool. 1, 2. Yeah, this is risky for sure. There's a Quinn Carrier. Defiance is good, but not an Alter Ego. Stronger Together is good. Jet Belt is fine, and then we have an Energy Siphon. So here we can get the Unified Strike by jumping up, which is a really good angle if we need to do it. We'll see if there's 2 allies to attack, because the Unified Strike is only good if 2 Gun Kid is actually firing. All right. Definitely taking a risk here. Let's see if it works out or not. So this now gets 1 threat, but now we have to do the ambush, and the ambush puts 2 threat back here. So we cleared 7, but you functionally only clear 5. You should, in theory, leave a character in play, I think. All right, roll a die. We're looking for a 5 here for Scorpion. That'd be the best. 4. It's Craven. That's not the worst. So Craven's now going to scheme against us. Has 9 health. So one of the bigger ones, as much as Scorpion is the biggest. And only going to scheme for 1 in a card. So rip me in advance here. 1. No boost. Okay, cool. 2. Encounter card. Life-size decoy. Hey, we found one of the 2 minions. So in Expert, this gets toughness, and you cannot thwart side schemes. Technically, this is not thwarting. I think when you do Craven's text or any of the villains' text, it's not considered thwarting. But in theory, we can't straight thwart the side schemes. 5 health toughness is annoying, but we technically do have the War Room, so we're going to feel a bit better about that. Oh yeah, this is not doesn't say remove threat, it says thwart. So I like this. I think there should be more allies like this that are just kind of in the way. It doesn't have guard too, so 2 Gun Kid technically has text this turn, as much as the toughness gets in the way. So this seems like an important turn to get it right. We could 50-50 draw either an Enraged or a Wasp. We're going to roll a die if we have to draw 1 of these cards, because shuffling 2 cards is very hard. All right, what can we do here? When we jump up, we can grab a card from underneath us. That's good, because that's pseudo healing. If we can play Stronger Together and be exhausted, so that's fine. We have no piercing for the life-size decoy, but we don't actually have to defeat the decoy. We can just leave it on the table for a while. Active altruism can't deal much. It can deal with that, which is fine. This might just be a Quinn carrier angle, but I don't want to take a lot of damage. So this might just be a sleepy setup turn. So if that's the case, I think we just Wonder Fans here. Because if we get, what's her face? The 3 attack one, if we get Wasper in a good spot. So I'm going to do a 50-50 on the roll. So 1, 2, 3's left. We get the right card. It is Wasp. Nailed it. Okay. So now we Wasp. Very playable. I think down here we should probably recover for 3. And now the cool thing is we can use Signature Sunglasses to heal 1. We also can knock out Craven here, which we probably should with this hand because we have a lot of energy resources and we're not going to use all of them. So I think actually playing the Jet Belt is better than the Quinn Carrier. Yeah, we haven't seen Scorpion once so far in 2 games. 2 games. So that's it. We'll recover for 3. I think that's our recovery. Okay. Then we'll flip up. When we flip up, we'll use our Signature Sunglasses so we can grab a card from underneath us. So we'll grab the one that does a lot of damage. Notably, these cards, if we can't get them away from underneath us, which is a reason maybe not to recover, they will miss the deck cycle. And this is a genuinely pretty good card. So like the cards underneath you, there's another thing that like very good Wonderman play will keep in mind, which is like the cards underneath you, you need to get them back in the cycle, which is like kind of fascinating. All right, Craven, we have 9 damage in her hand, no problem. I don't think we have to play the Quinn Carrier here. I don't think we do. So I'm just going to use the Helicarrier so we can get one of these cards out from underneath us. We'll do Helicarrier into... Maybe we'll play the Quinn Carrier? We have to take 2 damage to play the Quinn Carrier? Maybe we do play the Quinn Carrier. Yeah, F it. Let's do it. Helicarrier for 1. We'll do Energy Siphon for 2, and we'll spend a resource off of it because I think we have enough energies. So we'll take a damage to play the Quinn Carrier. This technically now will take 1 damage, generates an energy as well, which is really good because we'll have most of our setup. I think we can just be super greedy with this hand. Then we'll do... We don't need the Jet Belt, so we'll pitch Jet Belt. Yeah, for Ionic Blast. Currently, the Ionic Blast is doing 5 damage because of Mr. Hollywood. So that's 5 damage. We want to play a cheap altruism. Oh, Jet Belt could have got a card underneath us. That was the reason to play the Jet Belt. What is this turn? Stronger Together heals 2-gun Kid. That's fine. It's just 1 healing. It's actually not that good. So I think we just dump her hand. So I think we do actually go Mad Greed here. So we'll do the Max Greed. So Max Greed is Stronger Together plus Quinn Carrier, I guess, for Jet Belt. This is another research generator, but the benefit from this is that you can generate an energy for an event, but you can also discard a card from underneath you, which sounds like a non-bow, but getting an active altruism back into the deck is probably worth it when we're going to deck out right here. So now we're going to do Jet Belt, and we're going to choose to discard an active altruism. So this is for any card. So we spent 1. Okay, so we're spending 1 on Ionic Blast. Ionic Blast will do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 one-shots, but we don't need to because we have 2-gun Kid. So I think we'll just do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. We'll just do 7 damage with the Ionic Blast. So that hits Craven. 9 goes down to 2. We can tuck this card if we want to. I'd rather keep Ionic Blast in rotation because we're about to deck out. We're not going to tuck a card underneath us this turn. Actually, we probably should, just because we have Sunglasses and we still have a Confuse. So I'll tuck it underneath us to recover 1, or underneath our Physiology. Then we'll play Wasp. Technically, Wasp, we're overpaying with the Hollywood, so we'll give her 2 health. I'm not going to do the counters. We're just going to do the health left on her as we usually do. Let me center this out a wee bit. Okay. Doing 3 damage to this is kind of silly. We'll use 2-gun Kid's text just the normal way. So 2-gun Kid will attack Life-Size Decoy and Craven. So Craven's knocked out. This is not thwarting, so we can remove 7 threat from this. Wait, were we ready for that? I think we are. So something's going to happen here, which is really funny, and we'll take the toughness off of this. But when we knock out Craven, we get to remove 7 threat. That's not a thwart. So Life-Size Decoy stops you from thwarting, but we're now in like danger mode because this thing will flip over in a second. Because life at the end, when you flip it over, light at the end, excuse me. What am I doing? This says, and this ordering is I'm not 100% confident about. Is there like a gang up Sinister Six card where they all attack? They don't all attack. There's a card that says they activate and they add all their stats together. So like kind of, but not really. When the last art is removed from this scheme, immediately resolve the ambush ability. So this is where it gets a bit awkward because the ambush ability, 1 to 6. 2, it's Electro. So that's to discard 7 cards. We don't mind about that one. But that actually adds 2 threat on this. Now, when this card flips, I don't know if this 2 threat is meant to be there because flipping the card is not discarding the card. So I think this 2 threat from the ambush actually sticks. That's the one ruling I'm not sure about. But the scary thing about this on the other side is that it has this hazard icon. Because now this comes in with 17 because it does get +2, which seems like a very awkward timing. But 5, 10, 15, 17. This has the same text. However, when this is cleared, we win. And I don't think we mentioned that's the only way we can win this. So as long as we can clear 17 threat, we're out. We can't thwart side schemes, which is actually worth it. So Wasp will be our safety blocker. She'll take 3 damage into the life-size decoy. In theory, if we want to be very, very safe here, and it's actually very likely we'll take a double activation, we could use Psylocke here so she hits the shuffle. So Psylocke is going to attack Electro. Electro will take 2 damage and get confused. And this just prevents us from getting into our advances, which we haven't seen yet, and Psylocke is defeated. We technically have 2 chump blockers, and we're going to draw 3 encounter cards this turn, which, like, we're in danger. We could lose. This life-size decoy is also not that bad because we drew 2 of the surge cards that say add threat equal to the amount of enemies in play, and we'll pass. What a turn. What a turn. We draw a card. It's, of course, Enraged. This is the card that we want to attach to 2-Gun Kid and keep him healthy. This card does a lot of multiplicative damage. Can I find it? Yeah, there it is. We draw 1 encounter card. We'll be drawing 2 more. Hey, Spider Bro, glad I was able to catch the stream. Love your content. Also, I'm a little surprised. I'm enjoying Wonder Man way more than Hercules so far. I think his deck building and tucking cards is awesome. I think Hercules was like surprisingly fun. I think Wonder Man's tricky, and I think this is the first time I played a Wonder Man deck that I'm actually enjoying. I didn't enjoy the WonderCon precon. As much as the Hercules precon had some dead cards, it still like did the Hercules dream. There's so many moving parts that I think I'll be fascinated with Wonder Man, and I think obviously the future will come with more energy cards that you'll be more excited to have different builds. Spider Bro, you're doing some content, right? I'm pretty sure I recognize that name. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. But yeah. Wonder Man's been okay. He's been cool. This is the first deck that's enough moving parts that I can get my teeth into. Enrage is in her hand, mind you, not on the table. Which, yeah, of course it is. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, active altruism. So we have to clear the life-size decoy. Can't be that hard, but then this can remove an absurd amount of threat. So we actually can get towards the end of the game. Ionic Blast can knock out somebody, no problem. That's a great hand. Profx for safety is fine. And then we have an energy. So like this hand has a lot of burst in it, which is good that we're set up because then we're just drawing our good events. This goes to 3. Electro is going to attack us. 4, 1 and a card. If this is damage, we discard 7. I don't care about that text. The attacks are only going to get worse with the encounter cards, so I think we let this one go through. We have a relatively healthy health pool, and I don't want to chump block with these right now. Again, in a panic, we will. But that's it. Yeah, 1 in a card. 1, 2. Nice. That's a surprise. So we take 2 damage, and then we have to do Electro's text, which is not the worst. We just discard 7 off the top. And again, with our sunglasses, we have a chance to access these cards. Stronger Together, Strength. Unified Strike, hate it. Sunfire is fine. What Are You is fine. Defiance, love to play that card, and a second Unified Strike. So unfortunately 2 Unified Strikes are out, which is like our massive damage card. And it takes us a bit too much to like get it on us and get us off us by jumping up and down. All right, 1 encounter card because we decked out, 1 because of normal, 1 because of hazard. We have to survive this. Give us an advance. Oh, that's bad. All right, this is why you keep, and actually this is not that bad. This could be worse. It's actually possible that we die to this attack. This is the bad one, and at least we drew this sooner than later. Partnership of Pain. The villain with the highest activation order attacks you with X, where X is equal to the total attack of all villains in play. It's still only 1 in a card. Issue is there's some boost cards that say draw another card. So this could be 3, draw another card into 3, and we could die to that. I still think we're close enough to the finish line that we can just tank this and hope. We have 2 healing coming up. We have a big attack stat. Could be bad. Is Wonder Man attack 4 or 5? He is attack 1, 2, 3, 4. Good catch. I'm very bad at maintaining this die. Active villain moves to that totally real Doc Ock. Yeah. It's. Oh yeah, you're right. This one goes. In theory, I forgot this. The real Doc Ock technically attacks us for 0. So there are some cases where that text matters, but we just skip that part. Back to Electro though. Attacking for 1 in a card. I think we just take it. It's not likely we die. 1, 2/3 master plan. Love to not see this. We'll take 3 more damage, which means we discard more cards. Winter Soldier's gone. Starstruck's gone. Genius. I don't think we played a Starstruck this game. Last Unified Strike. I hate that. 5. Psylocke. Stronger Together. We discarded 14 cards. That's most of our deck here. Technically, I rearranged my deck order. You're not allowed to do that. Whatever. Hey, cute little Lily. Hey, love your content. And I always wonder how you can thumbnail. Oh, your card's thumbnail below your webcam always updates so fast when you mention certain cards. I thought this was pre-recorded because of that. I have set up a system in which I have a keyboard on my lap and I can just search up any card I want, right? And so we can just grab cards. I'm just typing in random letters to see what gets there. But yeah, it's I put a lot of energy to make this as accessible as possible, and it's all done live. The way that the cards flip, by the way, is with my feet. I have a foot pedal that allows me to do a couple things, and then I change all the health and stuff using this program that's on the screen at the same time. I do think making card games as accessible as possible is like my favorite thing to do. So I'm glad it's appreciated. So glad you've been appreciating it. I'm glad the work is worth something. Thank you for the kind words. All right, that's that, right? Yeah. Jesus, stop it. Stop hitting us. It's another partnership of Pain. Electro's attacking for 3 in a card. That's one of our cards. 1 in a card. We're going to block with Wasp. We have to. 1, 2, 3 exhaustion. Love to not see that. So at least with 2-Gun Kid, we probably won't lose if there's a 3rd attack. Or sorry, yeah, 4th attack. Oh, that's fine. Caught off guard. Good. So with this, we can discard a card. Honestly, it might be Wonder Fans. It could also be War Room. It's probably War Room, let's be honest. This guy's multitasking. A lot of this too is like, I have spent a lot of time live streaming and doing things at the same time as talking. I've been playing Netrunner and making content for a while. So it took a while to get up to speed, but yeah. We can do it. Okay, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad, right? That wasn't that bad. Actually, is that discard? It technically just removes 1 threat this turn, because War Room is actually going to fire this turn. Because War Room is, we're going to knock out Life-Size Decoy. So War Room is worth something. There's a chance that the Sunglasses or the Wonder Fans is not worth something. Let's plan out the turn before we decide whether we discard the War Room, because we have to discard something. If we discard Aggressive Conditioning, we lose, which is like a fun thing to realize you have that sort of agency. We need to win. 2-Gun Kid knocks out Life-Size Decoy, does 2 to Electro. We can't make that bigger. Actually, with Enraged, we can make it bigger. That does 4 to... That's not worth it. Enraged will knock out the guy. And we like the guy, it turns out. As much as he hasn't been popping off the scenario. We already have the Confuse, so Prof X isn't amazing, but we could just use Prof X and stay in this mode and then have a chump block and clear 3 threat. That's probably worth it, let's be honest. We can knock out Ionic Blast into Electro, which like... Ugh. But I honestly think we attack for 4 into Wonder Man. Wonder Man attacks 4 into Electro, just so that we can pin 2 cards underneath us to keep the healing going. So that I think we and us knock it out. That takes 7 off of this. Active Altruism takes a lot. We won't win this turn, but we'll put ourselves close. So I think we'll keep War Room around, and I think we just will never jump down anymore. I think it is actually the Wonder Fans that goes, because War Room probably has text. 1 threat is like probably not worth it, but I honestly don't know if we're going to jump down anymore. It might actually be the Sunglasses. We have an Ionic Blast though. Jumping down's kind of nice. Whatever. We'll be fine. I hope. Okay, so I'm going to start by attacking for 4. It clears the cards underneath us, and we'll just take 4 to Electro. It loses our stun, but what can you do? So it goes down to 2. And now we might as well use 2-Gun Kid to do the really cool thing. 2 shots, 1 bullet. I think that's what he's doing. I don't think he has 2 guns. Never mind, the title makes that obvious. So 2-Gun Kid will attack to do 2 and to do 2. So getting the double kill is awesome because the Halo Enhancer like really pops off. The big issue is we have 2 advances here in the bottom, which like that's frightening. But we have a couple things that we have to do. Firstly, this confuses in the garbage. We remove 7 threat. I think we choose the order. This is not a thwart, so it doesn't matter. 7 threat comes off of this. And then with War Room, we can remove 1 threat. From not Warren Worthington, with War Room, we can remove 1 threat from this. Sick 2-Gun Kid play. Then we'll do Helicarrier. It doesn't really matter how we do this. Oh, it kind of does. Actually, it kind of does, but not really. We'll do Helicarrier. Queen Carrier, I guess. Enraged for Professor. Oh, I'm realizing the Prof doesn't have text here. It's definitely still worth it though, because it's a block and 3 threat removal, which is all we need. So we can't stun a minion. We can't ready an X-Men. We can't confuse because obviously we got rid of all of them. So Prof X will thwart for 3. This goes down to 7. We'll play Active Altruism and we'll just boost it to the moon. So Active Altruism will fire here. We'll remove 1 threat, 2, 3 threat. So I guess Overpaying doesn't do anything. We can't even play Ionic Blast, so we can't heal. We could have done that probably in a better order. Yeah, I think we messed this turn up. It would probably was better not to do a basic attack, but to heal for attack with the Ionic Blast, to tuck it to have a bigger attack next turn. I think there was a better play pattern this turn. Because I'm realizing now we can't tuck this Ionic Blast because there's literally no target because we did that to ourselves. But it might have been better to do an Ionic Blast to tuck it and then keep our 5 attack going into next turn. I think that was probably a lot better. The most threat this can remove is 1. We can do all 5 threat with this, which is still fine, still good. But yeah, we could have had another card tucked. It probably won't matter, let's be honest, but we could have done that. So whatever, we'll just dump. I'll keep the Ionic Blast for next turn then. Let's say that's the play. So we'll pay a full Active Altruism. It removes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this goes down to 2. If we had 2 more threat removal this turn, we would have won. So I think there was a chance we were meant to Ionic Blast Electra to kill Electra and then thwart for 2. Yeah, actually, no. I think there's a chance we could have won this turn if we scheduled it better. We recover 1. If we lose here, it's on us. But yeah, I think we had a chance to do something smarter there. We'll pass. We'll hold on to the Ionic Blast because it is lethal and it stops us, I think, from decking out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Defiance is really good. We'll see who's going to attack us, but I love Defiance. It means that we're guaranteed, especially if we get attacked the second time because Professor X will take the first one. Okay, bummer here. Sinister Synchronization fires 1 more time. So this goes to 3, but this goes to 4 because of the expert text, which puts us slightly further away than we want. 1 to 6. Hey, it's Vulture. We're never going to see Scorpion. So 5, 6, 7, the smallest one. And now Vulture's going to attack us. For 2 and a card, we'll block with Prof X. 1, 2. There's the advance. Love to see that go. That's one of the ways we lose. And we knock out Prof X, so we don't have to do the text. 2 encounter cards. One of these should be an advance, right? Gang up. Okay, we're getting attacked again. So getting attacked. Vulture's attacking for 2 and a card. If this does damage to us, we lose. We can guarantee to make it less damage by defiancing it, and we can block. If we block here, we don't have thwart in our hand, but if we just knock out Vulture, we win. So in theory, we could defiance this and defend. We go up to 5 health. We're exhausted. So this last card is really important. But if we can Ionic Blast Vulture, we just win the game because it removes 7 threat. So I think we will do this. We could also just take the Vulture damage because it's only 2 damage and it forces us to discard a card from our hand, which actually is not super important because we just need to keep an Energy Siphon. So I think we can keep ourselves ready here. So I think we will. I don't know if there's anything that just does like guaranteed damage. So I think we're going to play Defiance here. We're not going to flip this card and we're not going to defend. So Vulture's coming in for 2. We cancel this card, which would have been put this minion into play, engage with you. That actually could have stopped us. So we'll take 2. We're down to 2. We'll tuck this. We're up to 1. Up 1. And we have to discard a card in our hand. We'll get rid of the Stronger Together. Last encounter card, maybe of the game. Nice. That doesn't matter. Teamwork makes the dream work. It's a long title. This might be the longest title of any card in the game. So each enemy gets +1 scheme and +1 attack. 5 threat. Does not matter in the last turn. Our turn starts. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4 attack. And we're just going to close the game out. So all we have to do here is generate a resource, generate a resource, generate a resource, play Ionic Blast, overpay. Ionic Blast does 9 damage, knocks out Vulture, we recover 1. When Vulture's defeated, we clear light at the end of the tunnel, and we escape with no Sinister Six alive to tell the tale. Really good. Sick. Kind of fun Wonder Man, honestly. The Two Gun Kid line didn't land as consistently as I think we could have wanted it to be. I could see this being amazing. We set it up on turn 1. Part of that was, unfortunately, we played the first cycle of the deck without Evaluate Threat in it. So like, that's on us. That's definitely on us for sure. But yeah, kind of fun. Like actually genuinely fun, the amount of moving pieces. And that's, yeah, it's such style that we have nothing on the table anymore. If you play campaign mode, you want to try and leave with no enemies in play because the enemies will follow you based on the ones you didn't defeat. They will follow you on if you go off against Venom Goblin, which is kind of a problem. So seamless. He also taught me a lot too because I just started playing this a month ago. Keep rocking. Thank you. Hopefully that is one of the biggest things. Like, I don't want to be considered a spike gamer, but when it comes to Marvel Champions or any card game, whether you want to play this game super casually on like normal difficulty or even like, you know, there's a difficulty below normal where you just play one villain stage. It doesn't matter if you're good at this game or not. The only thing that I want to explain when I'm playing is why I'm making certain decisions so that you can play with intention. So when you're playing and struggling or stomping anything from the core set all the way up to modern day, you can make some better decisions, because I think making good decisions and seeing the rewards of the better decisions, that's the most fun thing. It's not winning, it's making good decisions and seeing what the good decisions do. Poor Scorpions lost somewhere in the subway. Yeah, I'm assuming there's a 5 on all these dice, right? Yeah, it's right there. It could have been so easy. I don't know what happened. Hey Joey, happy Sunday. Hopefully you're well and not missing an hour of your day. How do you like Wonderman? Supernaut, how's it going? How do I like him so far? I haven't had a lot of time to play Wonderman, and as you might know, I streamed like 30 hours of Netrunner last week with the new set coming out. So while I had more time to play Hercules, and I've already finished a Hercules campaign, this is a Wonderman deck that I built and did one test game with yesterday, and then changed it somewhat substantially to get to today, right now. So far, actually really cool. And the events are impactful. Overpaying is impactful. You have a lot of resource generators. This whole 2-gun kid combo thing is probably worth playing, even not in a multi-villain scenario. Like, the upsides are probably worth it. And it's not too costly to put in your deck. Like, the cards that you're playing, Unified Strike, they're still kind of good. I think the one thing that you have to like realize with 2-gun kid, with Wonderman, is that, and we saw this in the first game today, is that if you get into a scenario that has a lot of stun or confuse or a lot of exhaustion, you do fall apart a bit, because your engine is all about getting these cards out from underneath you, and you can't do that on your own accord if you are stunned or confused. So sometimes it does collapse. Like, you do have a fail state, the same way that Hercules has a fail state, but it's fun. I want to see how much we healed that game, but like, healing is nice. I like people that can be brawler. I think the first shot at this game, or at this deck that I build, and another thing I didn't say is like Moment of Triumph is a card I wanted to try because it's an energy resource. The issue with Moment of Triumph in this deck is like, you're generally making 2-gun kid really good at attacking, and you have to defeat the enemy and not anybody defeats the enemy. So having that like real brawler thing where you play Moment of Triumph and you play like, you'll pay for that, I think that's still worth looking at, because these cards are kind of cool, but then you'll need ways to increase your damage output. And I don't think Savage Strike is the energy. I'm pretty sure Savage Strike is a physical. Yeah. So I don't know. You might be able to make it work. I just want to play like full brawler Wonderman before I need to try that out sooner than later. But Wonderman's been cool. I've been surprised how Hercules seemed like the one that has more roadblocks in it, and Wonderman has been actually the opposite of that, where Wonderman, has been the one with more roadblocks, and Hercules has felt a bit more smooth, which is kind of cool. All right, hey, hopefully your Sunday's well. It is technically 2, just about. It feels like it's 1, but I think we're gonna call it today here. A couple things to say. Firstly, if you're not in the Discord, Boom Guy from The Winning Hand has made a Discord. It used to be called Boomlandia, which was a bit of a joke, but it's been now changed the name to the People's, I think called the People's Server or the People's Channel or something like that. It's a really nice Discord server. A lot of people are using it to find online games, whether it is on webcam or on Tabletop Simulator. There's a lot of nice ways that you can reach out and meet people in the community and do all that sort of stuff. I haven't done any of that yet. I was a bit busy, but I'm definitely going to do some more multiplayer games, and that's a nice way to interact with people who are invested in this game and meet some folks. I'm not too well integrated in the community yet, but that will change. I also want to shout out Bananas, who is one of the mods there. She made a nice little icon there. So there's a react that is just the Crash Space icon, which is really cute. Shout out to Bananas. She didn't have to do that, but I thought that was quite nice. She messaged, she's like, hey, can I borrow your image? And now you can react with the Crash Space, which is really, really fun. That being said, there is a Crash Space like sub channel in that Discord. So if you want to come in and like send a deck list or like ask questions or just hang out, I'm not in there every day. I'm not like the biggest Discord person, but I definitely get the notifications. I pop in and I respond to it. Same thing with comments on this channel. I need to pop in and respond to people because we've been really busy this last week. So I've let a lot of those questions fester for worse or for worse. That's it. We'll be back next Sunday. I think maybe I'll guarantee next Sunday, if we don't have the scans in for the, what do they call the Synthezoid Smackdown stuff, I'll probably just take a camera and do them myself. They won't be as good as the one underneath my head, but they'll be good enough to show the stuff off, and hopefully in the future we'll replace them. Shout out to the people who do the scans for the community. They're super useful. They're super like really well used off of like Marvel CDB, let alone, looking up things with bots and stuff like that. So if not, we'll try and make our own. They won't look as good, but it'll allow us to play the new stuff. I don't know what hero we're going to play next week. Obviously Hercules and Wonderman are pretty interesting, but there's a whole bunch of cards in these kits that we want to play. I feel like I've been playing a lot of leadership, but I could see myself playing Avenge Me in some goofy leadership deck and just having fun building statues and sending people to their heroic conclusion for that turn. And then hopefully they come back. That's a really fun card. I want to build around more. That's mostly it. I don't know if we'll have a video up this week. Unfortunately, maybe we will. I might need to slow down. We spent so much time this last week doing content that I probably have to pump the brakes for a moment, just to like kind of get a grasp of things, of how reality works. But thanks so much for hanging out. If you appreciate content like this, if you want to leave a second to leave a like on the VOD, that helps so much. It really does. Just shares it in the algorithm. If you want to leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, notify, it lets you know when we go live. And we should be back next Sunday, probably Sunday morning, as much as we'll be better adjusted at the time zone at that point. Haven't played Hawkeye in a long time. No, I haven't. And yeah, that Avenge Me Hawkeye might be worth something. I like Hawkeye a heck of a lot. And Hawkeye does want to chump block with allies because of the whole Hawkeye vibe. So that could make sense. That's quite cool, as much as it doesn't work on Mockingbird too well. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you're well. Try and adjust to the time zone change. It's a pretty rough time for many, myself included. Could be worse though. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks so much for hanging out, y'all. Cheers.